Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Hamilton Ticats are all set, and we'll have the opening kickoff in just a moment.
CFL officiating crew for today's game, headed by referee Lorne Woods. All right, gentlemen, let's see Saskatchewan tough and Hamilton eat 'em raw.
All right, Bill. Bernie Ruoff is set. So too are Sammy Green and Craig Ellis. They await back at the Saskatchewan goal line. Bernie Ruoff, the most consistent kicker in Hamilton history and one of the greats in CFL.
Okay, here we go.
Saskatchewan tough. That's the slogan for 1984. They've got to be tough today because they will be facing Dieter Brock. And as Jocko called him a couple of nights ago, maybe the greatest in CFL history. And this will be Craig Ellis, 3 yards deep in his end zone. And Ellis showed you some tough running as he got out to the 25-yard line. He was hit about the 12, but he refused to go down.
That's the kind of a guy he is. We were talking about that earlier, Pat. That guy is a good, tough kid. Took a hit in the head, but he almost had the sideline, was going to break it. He is an instant six kind of guy. He can score from anywhere.
All right, let's take a look at that Saskatchewan offensive lineman. Joe Pow, formerly of the BC Lions. Craig Ellis was in Calgary, and Greg Fieger is one of those homegrown Saskatchewan products they've had such great success with over the years. Pow has got to have a big game here today as the Riders begin at their 25-yard line. And right off the bat, he puts it up. It's a lame duck looking for William Davis, but he had no shot at the football. We've got a penalty flag down at midfield, and it might well be an interference call against the Hamilton Ticats.
Well, William Davis anticipating that the call will go against the Ticats. He's in the lineup today, replacing Chris DeFrance. He'll be at the wide receiver spot. Tim Kearse inside, along with Sammy Green.
Forward pass interference. Hamilton in 14.
William Davis is a legitimate great sprinter. He was a national collegiate junior college champion, has been clocked at 10-1 in the 100 meters. You know he can burn it. That's going to make their pass effect a little bit more effective.
All right, they get the big break on the interference call against Gerald Best, and Saskatchewan has a first down right at midfield. They set up the screen, but the ball goes over the head of Tim Kearse, the inside receiver. Pow is throwing the ball into the wind. Now, Jocko, is he the kind of a kid that can throw the ball into that wind or not?
I saw him in a couple of preseason games, Pat, and he did a pretty good job of handling the wind both with it and against it. You know, yes, he can.
Tell you what, though, I don't like his first two throws. That first long bomb was kind of anemic, but there's that fine all-Canadian offensive line that the Saskatchewan Roughriders use. Good against the sack department. Led that 2 years in a row.
All right, right over the middle, wide open is Kearse. He drops the football, and the Ticats are going to recover it back at their 22-yard line. Oh, that's the kind of a play that just ruins you if you're a coach, because you say, hey, all of a sudden we're banging on the door. Ed Galavakis hops on the football after Saskatchewan should have been inside the Hamilton 25.
Well, obviously a mistake in coverage as Tim Kearse comes wide open and then for some unexplained reason coughs up the football.
This is something I was talking with the Saskatchewan coaches last night. They wanted to implement more motion in their passing game, bringing Sammy Green in motion. He's the one that gave him that strong look. Kearse had it for a touchdown.
So the Ticats now take over at their 22-yard line with Dieter Brock in there, and wide open is Rufus Crawford. Crawford with a big first down to the 51-yard line. And if you did not see him against the Concord last week, what a game he had from that inside receiver spot. Rufus Crawford with speed to burn.
And last week, Rufus Crawford got 7 balls, and already Dieter Brock's looking to him just down the seam. They expected maybe Saskatchewan to be in a 3-deep zone. They got it and hit it.
So it is first down, Hamilton at their 51. Brock firing now on every play, hits Mark Bragignola. And Bragignola has the first down into Saskatchewan territory at the 48 as Steve Johnson from Mississippi State moved in to make the stop.
It gets kind of spooky when you have to play defense against Brock, doesn't it? He just really guns it out there in a hurry. He knows where he's going with the ball, eh, Lee?
He sure does, and when you give him that amount of time, Dieter can get in a groove, and when he gets in that groove, as we saw last week, he can be so effective.
I'll tell you, that Kelvin Lindsay, who's in there in place of Johnny Shepard, can fly. What a game he had against the Concord. We'll look for him today as well. Ron Johnson, the intended receiver, but the ball sails over his head. Leaf, you've played on this Ivor Wynne Stadium turf. Tell us about the Sun now. Which club is going to have problems trying to catch the football?
Well, Hamilton will have problems in the first quarter. The Sun is behind them, so when those receivers look back, as Ron Johnson just did in that case, he's going to have a little difficulty with that Sun. And playing a game at this time of the day, 5 o'clock, which is a new time for the Ticats, that Sun's going to be a problem for the entire ball game.
Dwayne Jett is the only newcomer in that receiving corps. He played last week against Montreal, the rookie from the University of Hawaii, number 7. It's 2nd and 10, Ticats. And the pass is complete to the running back, Kelvin Lindsay, and the Ohio State Grant should have the first down. Jocko, I like this kid, Kelvin Lindsay. Did you see him last week?
He looks outstanding, and it seems like they come up with those kind of players all the time. Last year was Shepard, and he's about ready to come back into the lineup also. It's the second time that they went into a 2-deep coverage there, and it looks like they played that pretty well. The linebacker just didn't jump that back coming out of there quick enough back.
McIntyre.
So the Ticats have a first down at the Saskatchewan 37-yard line, and this time the draw goes to Kelvin Lindsay. And Lindsay is inside the 30. He'll have a pickup of a good 7 yards. Billy Jackson, that rookie from Mississippi State, number 45, and Eddie Lowe, 42, combined on the tackle. There's that offensive line, and again, as so many clubs in the CFL have done, it's an all-Canadian offensive unit anchored by Henry Wozchuk. So it's 2nd down, 3 yards to go. Ticats at the Saskatchewan 29-yard line. And Dieter does not get it away. Good pressure from the front 4 of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and in there first was number 63, Rick Goltz, the defensive tackle. Goltz going to help this club.
That's right, and he brought just one linebacker on to give a 5-man rush. That's right. Goltz against a quarterback like Brock, with the size and stature that he has, coming right up there and giving the good pressure makes him effective.
Bernie Ruoff will try the field goal from 43 yards out.
Pat, you know, before the game, Bernie was just stroking them through perfectly from 60 yards out. I've never seen him kicking better.
Well, you used to hold for him. You would know as he puts it right through the uprights. We have got flags down in the end zone, and we'll find out what it's about when we come back. Tentatively, at least, the Hamilton Ticats have gone out in front of Saskatchewan 3-0. We'll be back. Saskatchewan assessed a penalty for too many players on the field. That 10-yard penalty will give Hamilton a first down at the 26. Jocko, how does this happen? How do you get too many players?
It should never happen. I think that, number one, you have a coach assigned to that area, and then the coach has a captain that's assigned to that area and say, hey, get the 12 guys on there on the field goal return unit. And that's a critical. This puts them in another position now to go for the big 6.
So it's still scoreless. The Ticats will decline that field goal, and they'll go first down from the 26-yard line. The pass is complete to Kelvin Lindsay. Eddie Lowe was there. Billy Jackson was there to bring him down at about the 20-yard line. So the pickup will be 6.
They've had some successes now when they put a little bit of pressure on Brock, and they got him dumping off to the back into the flat and only picking up 4 or 5 or 6 in this case.
Well, they came with a full blitz, and there you see that defensive line, Saskatchewan Roughriders. They've got people that you've seen with other teams throughout the league. Matthew Teague, Rusty Olson, Rick Moore, former Toronto Argonauts.
And Rusty Olson, of course, was with the Argos as well. It is 2nd down, about 5 yards to go. Dieter fell as he was dropping back, and so that's a fortunate set of circumstances for Saskatchewan.
Jack, I wonder if he tripped on that hammer that Saskatchewan was going to use out there on defense.
There's Reuben Berry, a guy you've got to like. Easy guy to talk to, John.
Oh, yeah, he's a good, good tough guy, too. He just kind of fits the pattern of what they're looking for in Regina.
Let me tell you something, Jocko. I wouldn't want to talk to him after there are too many men on the field call, though. He was steaming.
Should be. He should be.
It looked like Dieter tripped on Henry Wozchuk's right leg, as a matter of fact. So now they'll try the field goal again from the 34-yard line this time. Ruoff puts it up, and it is good. So we said it was 3-0 a few seconds ago. It is, in fact, 3-0 because although that penalty hurt Saskatchewan momentarily, they were able to snuff out that Hamilton drive, and the Ticats pick up at 3. What are your impressions of that Hamilton offensive alignment so far, Leaf?
Well, I think the Roughriders are very fortunate. Dieter Brock tripped on that 2nd down passing play, but he is so smooth when he gets out there and gets in control, and I think Saskatchewan's really going to have to mix things up on defense to try and upset his rhythm.
Coach Barry told me before they want to get some motion going in that backfield, but it hasn't begun to show just yet. Pow's pass sails over the head of the intended receiver, Sammy Green. Jocko, you think that Saskatchewan's a better football club this year. Why are they better?
They got more good football players, veteran players that are fully aware of everything that's happening out there, and they got Pow as a good quarterback, and he'll get it going today.
All right, there's a look at that defensive line of the Hamilton Ticats, who played so well, particularly in the first half against Montreal last week. Pow's pass was deflected by John Priestner,
Pass is knocked down by
and
John
fortunately
Priestner.
for Saskatchewan, it was not picked up. Pow had a chance to reload, but still didn't get the ball to his intended receiver.
He had this Fraser coming into the clear there. He had the guy that he wanted. Number 11, they were isolated on him, and but the defensive linebacker made a good play.
But you know what makes a big difference is just the Hamilton Ticats have those 4 good pass rushers. They don't have to blitz that much. They can put the 3 linebackers back in pass coverage, and they become a tough team to complete passes against.
They drop so deep, those back.
That's right.
This is Rufus Crawford from his 28-yard line, and Rufus found a little bit of a seam and got out close to the 39. So that's where Dieter Brock and his unit will come out onto the field. Al Bruno. This is really his first season as the head coach of this club. Took over late in the year. Boy, did he have them ready against the Concord.
Good job, defense.
And Al's a little miffed that a lot of people who picked his Ticats to finish first in the Eastern Conference in some of the preseason polls. I know he wasn't too pleased with my selection.
Well, next Friday night, of course, all the fellows will be out in Western Canada as the Stampeders will play against the Eskimos. 9:30 on the full CTV network. Now, you want to talk motion? There was some motion there for you. Kelvin Lindsay, what a hit he took as he got to about the 42-yard line for a pickup of about 3 yards.
Well, their basic defensive set is like a 4-3, but one of the 3 is the monster kind of a guy, Kenny McEachern. He goes with what he sees, like that extra motion. He gets out over there. They made not a heck of a lot because they got somebody to the football right away. Good defensive scheme also.
Pickup was just over 4 yards, so make it 2nd and 6 Ticats. The ball at their 44-yard line. It's 3-0, Hamilton leading early in the first quarter. Brock's pass. This is the newcomer, Dwayne Jett, but it was knocked away by Terry Urban playing the cornerback on that side.
Terry Urban, a guy who's been around for quite a long time. He let Jett get in behind him, but was able to react to the throw and makes a good play to tip that ball away.
Well, Leif, you played against Terry Urban. Tell us about him.
Well, he was one of the more frustrating guys to play with against, Pat, because he's a guy that likes to talk to you for 60 minutes out there and tell you that he's going to shut you out and do this and do that. And sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. But I didn't really enjoy playing against him for that reason.
Bernie Ruoff will drop back to punt on 3rd and 6. Tim Kearse, number 1, and Fran McDermott, number 3, back to return it for the Riders. End-over-end ball. McDermott at his 17-yard line. This kid can get to the outside, and if he does, sometimes he's trouble. But he wasn't able to do that time. Hamilton has a 3-0 lead over Saskatchewan. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, the Ticats are going to be in Ottawa's Lansdowne Park next Saturday at 7:30. What a beautiful place to watch a football game, Lansdowne. Place that we're all familiar with. Georgie looked like he was just ready to disintegrate last night. 17-16. His Riders finally win it.
I'll tell you what, you win some and you lose some, and he went through agony in both ball games. I know that his stomach's on Social Security. Well, I'll tell you tough.
George had a good comment after the game. He said he may need a heart transplant. All right, let's watch and see what Joe Pow can do now. His club trails 3-0. They start from their 27-yard line. The draw goes to Greg Krieger, but it was sniffed out neatly. Mitchell Price was in very quickly to make the stop.
That's that good front 4 that the Ticats have. They read the draw and they pass rush so well. I think they're just a good group.
You know, gentlemen, we've got 2 clubs here that revel in the tough going, and it's rather interesting that with their fans, traveling with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, of course, is the Human Bomb. was going to let that bomb go off through the headgear he wears after the touchdowns. And we also have Cal Suchak, the man who went over the falls in the barrel over Niagara Falls. He was just introduced in the stands here, and he's an ardent Hamilton fan.
I think those two ought to sit together, Bill.
Maybe he's a former punt returner over here.
Anyway, the Ticats jumped offside, and that'll give Saskatchewan a 5-yard advantage. It'll be second and about 4 yards to go. Well, as a matter of fact, let's make it 6 yards to go. They had lost a couple on the initial play by Greg Feger. Flag goes down. Sammy Green was offside. The pass goes into Tim Kearse. It was very nearly picked off by Howard Fields. The Ticats will decline that penalty.
Ticat secondary enjoyed a great game last week against the Concord, and good reaction by both Howard Fields and Mike McIntyre to come over and break up that play.
Saskatchewan number 5, decline. 3rd down.
Well, Jocko, one thing I wanted to ask you. Last year, Sammy Green was so effective for the BC Lions in the slot back position. Now Saskatchewan's got him outside of the wide receiver spot. Which do you think he's better at?
He's better in the slot. I think as a wide receiver, they're going to try to bring him in motion and get him the ball a little bit more often that way. Bring him back in motion to the formation.
Right.
Oh, what a punt by Dave Badowich. It chases Rufus Crawford back to his 25, and then he just puts his head down and drives to about the 35. We've got an injured Hamilton Ticat down on the field as we take a look at Rufus Crawford. Mike Walker is the injured Hamilton player. He's their left defensive tackle. 57-yard punt by Badowich. An 11-yard return. But, boy, you like to see the kickers put them high and long like Badowich just did for the Riders.
You know, Badowich, interesting. The first game we saw him play last year, we were doing a game out in Saskatchewan. His first punt as a pro was blocked.
Yeah, not the greatest way to start a career. Okay, it's Hamilton out in front of Saskatchewan with 5 minutes and 43 seconds left to play in this opening quarter. 3-0. We'll be back in just a moment.
So tonight, after the game, tackle.
Jocko, there's a look at the only newcomer in that linebacking core for Saskatchewan, Billy Jackson. I know you like him.
He's a great football player. Had a great college career at Mississippi State. That's old Jackie Parker's old school. But he's one of the top-rated linebackers coming out of U.S. colleges last year. Rated by many, many people in the top 5. I've seen him a number of times. He's quick, he's strong, and he's tough. He's a real plus to that team.
Well, let's see what Dieter Brock can do against that Saskatchewan defense. The Ticats lead at 3-0. We've got 5 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in this opening quarter. It is first down Hamilton at their 35. And on the draw, this is Mark Braggnolo. He gets to about the 37, 38-yard line. Not much there. Eddie Lowe was quick to hop on him.
That's Woodrow Lowe's younger brother, you know, the great linebacker from the San Diego Chargers. They both played at the University of Alabama, and again, he's a good, quick kid in there. Woo.
Al Bruno, he was a great end when he played for Toronto from the University of Kentucky. It's second down, 7 yards to go. The pass right over the middle goes to Rufus Crawford. Crawford has a first down out over the 45 to the 48-yard line.
You have to appreciate the talents of Rufus Crawford. Normally a running back. He's filling in at slot back because Scott Colley's on the injured list. And what an outstanding job he's done in last week and now this week. A couple of catches so far here in the first quarter. And what a heart he's got. He's a real gamer.
First down, Ticats at their 48-yard line. There goes the motion to the left. And Brock throws back to Ron Johnson, and that flanker screen doesn't get anything because it was snipped out neatly by Terry Irvin.
That's the play of an experienced cornerback. He just read that thing right away and just jumped up there, and he made the play.
Jocko and Pat, I just wanted to tell you on Mike Walker, you saw him taken off the field. It looked like it might be very bad. Well, it is a knee injury. They don't know how bad it is. But with a knee, as you all know, you just have to wait, and no knee injury is a good injury, as a matter of fact, because they can keep you out so long. But that is it, the right knee.
Thank you, Bill. 7 out of 9 in passing for Dieter Brock at this point for 73 yards. You see Grover Covington looking at his pal Mike Walker on the sidelines there. Obviously some concern for the Ticats because Walker played well last week. It's second down, 8 yards to go. Well, the intended receiver, Dwayne Jett, was tripped up. There is a flag on the field, but I doubt that the official on this side would be calling the play on the other side of the field, and in fact, he's not. It's a holding penalty against Hamilton.
Pat, again, they went into that too deep coverage with the man underneath. And what they did on the wide receiver, the cornerback out there, he tries to bump that receiver like Dwayne Jett and force him into the coverage inside. Force him into the funnel of the coverage. That's exactly what they did, and they covered the field well.
The Riders will decline the penalty. It'll be third and about 8 yards to go, Hamilton. The Rough Riders have not had good field position with the exception of that opening exchange when Kearse almost broke it for a touchdown and then ended up fumbling the ball. Ruoff kicking to Kearse, number 1, or McDermott, number 3. It'll likely be McDermott. Oh, he gets a beauty away, and McDermott is forced back into his end zone, a yard deep. But he gets it out to about the 18-yard line, so that's where the Riders will begin.
Wayne Lee making the tackle on McDermott.
A 63-yard boot by Bernie Ruoff, a 20-yard return, and we want to remind you that next Sunday, 3:30 Eastern Time, we'll be in Saskatchewan to take a look at Turner Gill and the Montreal Concorde. And in Toronto, the Argos will renew their Grey Cup rivalry against the Lions. And boy, that British Columbia club looked awesome in their home opener on Friday, hammering Edmonton. Pow fires it out. That's a tough strike. He gets it to Sammy Green, and Green gets to the 35-yard line. There is a flag in the Saskatchewan backfield. We'll wait and see what it's about.
Garavakis making the tackle. There's a penalty marker on the play.
That's the best throw Joe Powell's made so far in this game. A real strike to Sammy Green, and I think they're going to get a roughing the passer penalty as well, as they took a little extra shot at Joe Powell on the backfield.
Here's the call right now from referee Lauren Woods.
Major foul, roughing the passer. Hamilton, 36. First down.
That puts the ball at the Saskatchewan 49.5-yard line. The Riders trailing 3-0. Would like to get something going offensively. They have not been able to do so far. They swing it out here to Craig Ellis. And Ellis crosses midfield. He placed the ball down on the turf. The Ticats would like to imply that he fumbled the football. I don't think there's any question that he was down.
No, he was down. He already hit the ground. He was just extending himself to get the maximum yardage on the play. That's a habit, maybe not a good habit that he has.
And as the rule reads, the ground cannot cause a fumble. So once he's down, the play is dead. That's a good call by the official. No question about that.
God, you know that rule book.
Sure.
He's good on the rules. 7 yards was the pickup by Craig Ellis. It is 2nd and 3. Harpaugh with time just dumps it off in the middle to Ellis. And Ellis has the first down, crosses inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line. Jocko, you had Craig Ellis. Like him?
I like Craig Ellis. He can make some things happen for you. You know, I think just like that, catching the ball coming out the backfield, he's a quick guy. Again, they used a little bit of motion. They brought the wide receiver, Sammy Green, all the way across the formation that time.
But, you know, as much as they're trying to confuse the Hamilton defense with all that motion, I think they're knocking each other off the pass routes. And Powell was fortunate to have Ellis open there.
It is first down, Saskatchewan, at the Hamilton 43-yard line. A little dive by number 1, Tim Kearse. It's that slot back reverse where they bring the slot back across, and he dives in there, picks up about 5 yards. Garavakis was there to make the stop. Ed Garavakis, number 39.
Doc Charters tells me on Mike Walker, by the way, sorry, Jocko, that the situation is simply this. It's a hyperextension of the knee, so he might be able to come back if they really need him, but he says there's no disturbance within the knee, so it's good news for the Ticats and Mike Walker.
The pass was knocked away. Good defensive play by Howard Fields.
Excellent defensive play. He just kind of laid back there, and he just really jumped the football. Made a great play.
Another flag back in the Saskatchewan offensive backfield. Let's wait and see the call now from referee Lauren Woods.
Holding. Saskatchewan, number 2. Decline. Greg Figure was called for holding. The Ticats naturally will decline it. It'll bring up a third and a good 6 yards to go. The ball is spotted at the 39-yard line. It would be a 46-yard field goal.
This would be a good test for the leg of Dave Badowich.
Dave Ridgway,
excuse me. 46 yards into this breeze would be a good kick.
And he does not get the 3 points, but Howard Fields is going to concede the single point. And as he got to the sideline, he was forced out. The Ticats would like to see a roughing penalty against Bob Poley. But Poley did his job. Fields was just trotting for
Yeah, some of those guys, they diddle around so much in the end zone and everything, they should get hit, you know?
I agree with you. That's one pet peeve that I've had with all those guys. Larry Highbaugh used to do it. Howard Fields does it. And when they run around, and I just think they're asking for it. And he wasn't out of bounds when Poley hit him. Right. Take a shot at him.
The spy is getting mean in his old...
Oh, I'm getting cranky now up here.
That'll go as the 39-yard single for Dave Ridgway, and it cuts the Ticat lead to 3-1. And the Ticats will start from the 39 because of the miss. Brock's pass is complete to a wide-open Rufus Crawford, and Crawford gets to the 53.5-yard line for another Hamilton first down.
Well, our isolation director, Nick Volpe, captures Rufus Crawford with his third catch of the ball game, and Saskatchewan's getting cut the odd time now in a blitzing situation, and that's a tough job on this big field to cover Rufus Crawford.
First down, Cats at the Hamilton 53.5. Over the middle, and wide open was Rocky DiPietro. DiPietro has the first down inside the Saskatchewan 35-yard line. Boy, with Peter Brock at the controls, you got to know that this Ticat club has the potential to be as effective as anybody in the league. We've come to the end of the first quarter. It is Hamilton 3, Saskatchewan 1. We'll return with the second quarter in a moment. Peter Brock has been good on 9 of 12 passes for 109 yards. He's thrown to 5 separate receivers. That's what we mean about experience at that quarterback spot. The Ticats hand the ball off to Kelvin Lindsay. But there was absolutely no place to go. There's a look at the first quarter statistics. 107 yards for Hamilton, only 67 for Saskatchewan. You know, Jocko, you made a good point. They only have 3 points on the board.
That's exactly right. They've been bending a little bit, the Saskatchewan defense, but on occasion now they've been getting pretty doggone tough, too. They're reading Brock a little bit better, I would think.
The loss was 3 yards at 2nd and 13. Flag is down as Mark Bragagnola takes that little pass.
Defensive left end looked like he was offside.
Jerry Friesen making the tackle. There's a penalty marker.
Jerry Friesen was there to make the stop.
It's got to be frustrating as a coach to have that happen. You've got a team 2nd and 14. We'll hear the call.
Offside. Saskatchewan. 2nd down repeated.
But it's got to be frustrating. You have a team in a hole here with a real chance to keep them out of scoring range, and you give Dieter Brock a second chance. Like a baseball, you don't want to give him any more than 3 outs. And with this guy...
So it brings up 2nd and 9 after the 5-yard penalty. The ball is at the 33-yard line of Saskatchewan. Well, good pressure by that Saskatchewan defense, and they drop Brock back at about the 37 or 38, so we'll see the field goal unit.
By the way, gentlemen, you won't be seeing Rusty Olson anymore in this game. He's got a pulled hamstring, and the word is that Rusty is going to be out for the rest of the contest with that pulled hamstring.
That's 3 sacks for that Saskatchewan defense so far this afternoon, and we've only begun the second quarter, so they're ready.
That's what I say. They're big guys, they're strong guys, and they're veteran football players. Good coverage, eh?
You saw right there one of the reasons why Dieter had to scramble around back in the backfield.
Bernie Ruoff's field goal try will come from the 44. It is good. Well, he and I guess Bernie kicked it about 45 yards. It just cleared the bar, and the Ticats have gone out in front 6-1. We'll be back in just a moment. There are a couple of guys that can motor. Ron Johnson, number 6. Dwayne Jett, the rookie, number 7. You'll hear a lot from them during this 1984 campaign.
I like the way that Ron Johnson plays. He sacrifices that body at all times and has come up with just some outstanding catches over his short career in Hamilton.
Bernie Ruoff set to kick it off for the Ticats, who now lead 6-1. And this is Craig Ellis at his 15-yard line. Ellis dives over the 35 to about the 36, and that's where the Saskatchewan Roughriders will put it in the play.
I see him kicking to Craig Ellis instead of Sammy Green. I think they recall last year when Sammy Green ran one for about 100 and something yards when he wore a different colored jersey from the Lions, right?
Sure
and he
did.
stuck it right up. Wow.
How could you forget that return, Sammy Green? He fumbled the ball in the end zone, as I recall.
Right.
Picked it up and then took it all away.
When you're a Western coach at that time, you're really rooting hard for the Ticats, but it didn't happen that night.
All right, Joe Paupau's got to get things moving offensively here. Let's see what he does. He fires it over the middle to Craig Ellis, and Ellis fights his way over the 40 to about the 41 or 2-yard line. He'll have a pickup of 5 or 6. Grover Covington was there to bring him down, along with Mike Barker.
You can see where Craig Ellis is one of those really tough competitive guys. In other words, he's hanging and he's busting for everything he can get.
You see him here. He just tries to hide himself in underneath the linebackers, and he knows if Paupau gets in trouble, he'll get the ball, and that's happened a couple of times already here in the first half.
So he gets 6 yards. It's 2nd and 4. Paupau throws. Stu Fraser makes the catch up at the 52-yard line. It'll be a Saskatchewan first down. I like that little guy. I've always liked him. He's got the good hands. Not great speed, but boy, I'll tell you, he comes through in those clutch situations.
Well,
Barry obviously likes him, too.
That's true, Pat. He's a good little receiver. Nothing flashy about him, but he knows where the first down markers are, and he'll never be 1 yard short. He picks up those first downs for you.
That's an excellent point. On first down, they fired out there to William Davis. And Davis crosses into Hamilton territory at about the 48-yard line. Gerald Best was there to make the stop. William Davis, what do you know about him, Jocko?
Just that he got that big speed that we talked about earlier. But Jerry Keeling, talking about William Davis, he said this: he needs game experience, that he's got so much speed that if he can make some catches early in the ball game and take some hits, they feel that he can really develop into a premier guy.
That's what I used to tell John Payne when I was sitting on the bench in Saskatchewan. All I need is some playing time.
Little motion.
Green had the ball drop off his hands. Hit him right on the hand.
Well, those are the drive killers right there. You've got to make those catches. Sun, not a problem on that throw. It's so frustrating to understand how a guy like Sammy Green makes so many great catches throughout the course of a season and then does not make the easy one right there.
It's 2nd and 10, Saskatchewan from the Hamilton 47-yard line. Ticats lead it 6-1. The flag is down. They just dump it over the middle to Craig Ellis. He has the first down and more inside the 30 to about the 27-yard line. Ben Zambiazzi brings him down along with John Priestner. But let's wait and see what that flag's about. Apparently, it's against Saskatchewan. Talk about drive stoppers.
Wow. Have the feeling, don't you, Leaf, that Paupau is having more confidence as he's going along, reading the defense. There's a lot of zone coverages he's seeing, and he's trying to flood some zones. And he's finding people.
Number 1, 2nd down repeated.
Tim Kearse left a little early.
Well, there's the reason why the procedure penalty. Tim Kearse just a little early, leaving the line of scrimmage.
So instead of a first down inside the 25, it's 2nd from the 52. Oh, what a good job by Paupau to unload the Feger. Now, there are flags all over the field.
Survey making the tackle, a penalty marker on the play.
But Pat, you can make a good guess here on a penalty, and I bet you'll be right on.
Think there'll be a holding call here someplace?
I think there might be.
Holding. Saskatchewan 68. Decline. 3rd down.
Laurie Schoolrood, an old teammate of yours.
First roommate I had out in Saskatchewan, and
I hope it wasn't a single bed because he's size. 6'7", 280 pounds.
He's a good guy, Laurie. He's lasted a long time in this league. Once a tight end, and now an offensive tackle.
Latowich punting. He sails one down there to Rufus Crawford, who has to go back into his end zone for a couple of yards. And then Rufus comes bounding out of there, gets to about the 11, and that's where the Ticats will begin. Hamilton leads Saskatchewan 6-1 with 10.5 minutes left in this first half. We'll be back in just a moment. Going to be featured at halftime. All Atch himself, Ron Atchison, one of the great middle guards to ever play in the CFL and one of the all-time popular Saskatchewan Roughriders, will be Johnny Esau's guest on Yesterday in the CFL at halftime of this afternoon's game. 10.5 minutes left to play in this second quarter. Hamilton out in front of Saskatchewan 6-1. It's the kind of a football game we anticipated at the top. Both clubs hammering each other, and right now Hamilton trying to fight their way out from their own 10-yard line with the first down. Calvin Lindsay just squirts his way through up close to the 18 or 19-yard line. There wasn't much there, but Lindsay was able to pick up about 8 yards before Fran McDermott finally pinned him.
He's been a real find, hasn't he, Pat? He played so well last week, and of course, here in the first half, making some catches and some good runs.
I don't know why you'd say he'd been a real good find. I mean, he only averaged more than 10 yards a carry last week, had 2 touchdowns. Boy, oh boy.
Broke one, what, for 85, was it, or something?
Broke one for 83 yards, yeah. This is a big down right now. It's 2nd and 2. Saskatchewan trails by 5 points. But we're going to have the training staff of the Hamilton Ticats out on the field right now. Bill Stevenson, what's happening?
Well, the training staff has had a little bit of work with the Hamilton Tiger Cats already. Ron Johnson's got a bad thumb here. What is the problem, Ron?
Well, I jammed on the turf in the first quarter, and it feels like it's dislocated or something. They don't know exactly what it is. They're going to check it at halftime and see what happens.
But you can't put the squeeze on the football.
Can't squeeze anything right now, Bill.
Well, for a receiver, there is nothing worse when you can't grab and hang on to that ball. But what about the offense? It hasn't been rolling as it was in the first game against Montreal.
Well, we've had a couple of blown assignments out there. It's nothing to be really concerned about, though. I'm pretty sure we'll get together in the second half and do okay.
All right, let's hope that thumb's all right.
Okay, thanks a lot, Bill.
Thank you.
Marv Alamang, number 63, the right offensive tackle, is down and being assisted off the field. You had Marv on your clubs over the years?
No,
Jocko, you never had him?
Never had the...
Marv was in Calgary, though, at one point, wasn't he? Maybe
I wasn't.
You were.
Pat, well, we saw this training staff out there attending to Marv Alamang. Reminds me of a trainer I had in Saskatchewan, Sandy Archer, and I understand Sandy was in the hospital a few weeks ago with a bit of a heart problem, and I'd just like to say hello to Sandy and hope you're feeling better now. I understand you're out, and we'll look forward to seeing you when we're out there next week.
Okay, Sandman.
Give us Dragignola, and he doesn't get the first down. Boy, that's a good charging defense by those Saskatchewan Roughriders. Eddie Lowe made sure that he wasn't going to get that first down.
There's Saskatchewan tough.
And as a result, Hamilton will be punting.
Well, that's a good shot at number 42, Eddie Lowe, that outstanding linebacker, and he just scrapes off and makes the play, and that's a big turn of events because Saskatchewan really had an opportunity to pin Hamilton deep. They've done so, and their offenses should get the ball in good field position.
You know, you were talking about Sandy Archer, one of the real personalities in Canadian football, and what an asset he was to the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Sandy will be looking for you, as Leaf just said. Fran McDermott from the Hamilton 53. He thought he had a bit of a seam there, but he only gets to the 45-yard line. There is a flag down on the field. Bill?
One of the problems with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, as you've seen this afternoon, is the fact that they just haven't been able to get the offense going. They're making little mistakes, but they're making mistakes that break it up. And, Jocko, I wanted to ask you, This club has made more changes than probably any team in the CFL. Could that be one of the reasons? It takes time to meld, to get them together as a team.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, but they are veteran players and adjusting to new systems, you know, wherever they come in from. I'd call them the Roughriders, like the Los Angeles Raiders. They're good football players coming in, and they're assuming new roles in certain situations, like we talked about Sammy Green before. But I feel like Pow Pow has gotten a little bit better as the game has progressed here. We'll see what happens from this point on.
All right, the penalty blocking from the rear forces Saskatchewan back to the 50. Craig Ellis just dives to midfield, so he'll pick up about 4 yards.
Ellis, the ball carrier.
Grover Covington, number 77, was first to meet him.
Zambiazzi making the stop.
And Ben Zambiazzi, number 31, was there as well.
Talking about linebackers, we're talking about all kinds of good young linebackers in the league. We just saw, like you pointed out, Lowe making a great play. But Ben Zambiazzi plays all phases as a linebacker great, the pass and the run. He's outstanding.
Second down, 6 yards to go. Saskatchewan from midfield. And over the middle was Tim Kearse, but it was picked out by Mike McIntyre. Oh, McIntyre timed that one just beautifully. He came just as Kearse thought that he was going to make the reception. McIntyre came from nowhere, pulled the ball out of the air, and gives Hamilton possession at their 42-yard line.
Now, there you see it, Pat. Great anticipation. That's what you want from your middle safety. He's back there. He's a center fielder. Sit deep and read those situations. He reacted perfectly.
He's been watching the film, because in a situation like that, they like to go to Stu Frazier, watch number 11, sitting back to watch the quarterback and jump the ball in that scene.
Coming out of the backfield is Mark Bragignola, makes the reception, and he has lots more as he crosses into Saskatchewan territory at the 49-yard line. The safety, Glenn Suter, was the one who finally knocked him out of bounds, but it's a 20-yard pickup.
Peter Brock really likes to use his backs coming out of the backfield, and here when those linebackers drop off, he does not hesitate one bit, throws out to Mark Bragignola, gets a bit of a block from wide receiver Dwayne Jett to allow him to pick up an extra 10 yards.
First down, Hamilton at the Saskatchewan 49. Brock at the last moment fires an obvious pass interference against Rocky DiPietro. Steve Johnson, the inside safety from Mississippi State, had no idea where the ball was. He just figured I may as well grab the guy.
And Brock was, as you indicated, was just ready to get hammered, and he just got rid of it in time. Otherwise, boy, he was going to get pounded. Matthew Teague has done a good job since he's joined the Saskatchewan. I thought the league opener against the Argos, he was outstanding. He did a great job of containing the football, playing his position.
So it's first down, Hamilton at the Saskatchewan 42.5. A flag is down. Brock fires. He was looking for Rufus Crawford. The ball sails out of bounds, but there is a penalty on the play. Holding will be the call against Hamilton.
They blitzed that time. They brought their two inside backers, and I think that's what forced those guys to say, hey, somebody's coming free, and they grabbed on.
Well, Al Bruno had to be just jubilant last week against the Montreal Concord. They led it 39-0 in the second quarter. But here this afternoon, it's a different story because these Saskatchewan Roughriders have come up tough, and here we'll have the call from Lauren Woods.
Holding. Hamilton 54. First down repeated.
That's the left guard, Ross Francis, called holding. And so Hamilton will repeat the first down back at the Saskatchewan 52.5. Who do you go to here, Leaf?
Well, you try and get half of it back here on first down, try and get 10 yards. I like Rocky DiPietro in these situations.
Well, they go to the other inside receiver, who is Rufus Crawford. And Crawford leaps to make a big catch at the 46-yard line. Good call, Leaf, because they come back to about the 46-yard line, so they get some of the yardage back. They go to the inside receiver, Rufus Crawford.
Well, he was my second choice.
Well, it's a good call anyway, because obviously that's what Dieter Brock was thinking about.
Well, you have to look at it. You got 2 downs to make the 20 now, so grab 10 and 10.
I think Saskatchewan defensive line is really doing a good job. They're really putting a lot of pressure, those 4 guys. They're coming off the football pretty well.
Here comes Billy Jackson on a blitz, was picked up.
Look at Ainley. There he goes. Matthew Teague had him in his grasp.
And the pass is complete to Wayne Lee. And Lee has a first down inside the 30 to about the 28-yard line. Good line play by that Hamilton front 5. Although Teague didn't get through there, they picked up the blitz well.
That's where the strength of Brock showed. In other words, Matthew Rigg had it wrapped up a little bit. In the National Football League, they would have blown the whistle. He was in the grasp of the defensive football player. Here, they let him wiggle out of it and throw a ball downfield.
Well, how do you feel about that? Do you think they should have a little quicker whistle?
They're quick enough up here.
The gain was 19 yards. It is first down Hamilton at the Saskatchewan 28. The draw to Kelvin Lindsay. And Lindsay goes nowhere. There was good reaction there by the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Billy Jackson. And also, let's see, it may have been Eddie Lowe in there as well.
Billy Jackson made the tackle.
Well, Dieter has been good on 12 of 15 for 155 yards, but they still don't have a touchdown. It's Hamilton 6, Saskatchewan 1. 5 minutes, 20 seconds left to play in this second quarter.
Here comes a big play situation right now.
Second and 11. Kelvin Lindsay. Touchdown, Hamilton.
They lost the contain on the quarterback again on their stunt.
Touchdown of 1984. His first before the home fans here at Ivor Wynne Stadium for Kelvin Lindsay. 28 yards. The touchdown reception from Dieter Brock. Ruoff's point after is good. Hamilton 13, Saskatchewan 1 with 5:04 to play. Leaf, tell us about it.
Well, Dieter Brock's just done a super job in this first half of scrambling around, buying himself a little extra time. Kelvin Lindsay gets open, makes a nice catch. Nice touchdown, a great drive.
And as he did in Montreal, he smelled the goal line, and he wasn't going to be denied. 13-1. Hamilton leads Saskatchewan. We'll be back in just a moment.
10-5.
Dieter Brock has won 2 Shenley Awards. He'd like to make it 3 this year. What a start he's off to in 84. He's been good on 13 of 16 this afternoon as Craig Ellis takes the kickoff from his 5. And good coverage by that special team of the Hamilton Ticats as Ellis gets to about the 24-yard line and not much further.
Nice play by Kelvin Lindsay, and he just buys some time to get in behind Billy Jackson.
What happened there, Matthew T comes on the outside rush, and he took a little inside route. Brock, with the experience he has, you can't coach those guys. Bounced out, found the open guy. It's 6 points on the board.
And you can't beat the experience either of a quarterback who can find all of his receivers. Right. He's throwing to 5 different guys today. Halpau sets up the screen. And Kearse brings it out to about the 45-yard line. There's a good-looking play for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
To make a screen effective, you got to have good play acting on the part of the quarterback, and Paul did really a nice job. He had everybody fighting to his right, and then he came back and he screened for 21 yards.
And gives Saskatchewan possession just inside their 45 with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in this first half. It is Hamilton 13, Saskatchewan 1. The Riders desperately need some points. They swing it out to Craig Ellis again. Ellis drops the football. And the Ticats get it back once again. Howard Fields with the fumble recovery.
Just when they get something going, and then they turn the ball over again.
Well, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have really hurt themselves in this first half. First that fumble by Tim Kearse when he was all alone, and now Craig Ellis dropping the ball. Howard Fields has it, and this is where Dieter Brock gets tough. He can take advantage of these turnovers.
David Sauve, number 88, was the one who put the hit on him. That's the 3rd turnover by Saskatchewan this afternoon. The toss goes to Kelvin Lindsay. And Lindsay just fights his way across midfield into about the 53-yard line. He'll have a pickup of close to 4. Billy Jackson and Eddie Lowe, 45 and 42, were there to make the stop.
This is where you really have a good opportunity. The Ticats have a chance to just bury the Saskatchewan Roughriders here late in the second quarter. Let's see if they have that killer instinct and can march it down.
Hey, I like that Kelvin Lindsay. He's not only fast, he runs tough, too. As Brock fires it out there to Mark Braggignolo. And Braggignolo has the first down. He was pulled down by Billy Jackson.
That was a pretty well football play on both sides of the football. The guy needs 5 yards. That's where the ball was. The ball was really delivered on time.
All right, it's 13-1. Hamilton leading Saskatchewan. We'll be back in just a moment. Mark Braggignolo took that pass from Dieter Brock. Did he get the first down? Yes, by half the football. And so Hamilton will continue now with 3 minutes, 6 seconds left to play in this first half. Talking about Saskatchewan rider tough, they better be tough right now, because if Dieter puts another one in there, they've got a long way to come back.
They've been playing pretty doggone well, but those turnovers again, those will kill you, you know, and that's where Pawpaw looks like he's getting a feel and he gets it going and then they turn the ball over.
From the 48-yard line of Saskatchewan, Brock dumps it off to Kelvin Lindsay again. Jackson does make the tackle, but it'll be another first down. I really like this Kelvin Lindsay. Jocko, he's got the good speed, but he's a tough runner, too.
Watch him just sneak underneath the linebackers, make the catch. And I tell you, Billy Jackson does a good job to keep him from going a lot longer.
Again, it was just, I think, just the wise veteran quarterback. He knows that a big rush is coming on and just dumps it off, plus 14.
First down, Ticats at the Saskatchewan 33.5. To the end zone, but there is nobody there. Dwayne Jett was the intended receiver, but he may have broken off that pattern on his own. There's a flag down in the Hamilton backfield.
Seems to be a lot of penalties in this game so far in the first half, and a lot of crucial ones just when teams seem to be getting something going. Bobby Layden, our statistician, informs me 14 penalties already in this first half of football, and makes it tough to keep drives going.
Here's the call by Lauren Woods.
Holding. Hamilton 32. First down repeated.
Dave Graffey. Holding penalty.
And Jocko, is that where you got some of your gray hair from, some of those holding penalties when you were coaching?
That's right. That's not blonde hair you see on my head. It's gray. I paid for it.
If the phone don't ring, you'll know I'm calling, Jocko.
That's right.
The pass was over the head of Dwayne Jett. Kenny Hinton had good coverage on him.
And if you folks at home could figure out what Pat Barson just said, you're a lot smarter than I am.
That's why I said it. I wanted the folks at home to know and you not to.
Again, a good front rush out of the 4 guys that Saskatchewan's playing up there. They really worked hard, and we got to them, and they forced the pass to go a little awry.
What happens? We bring Jack Oda in here with his cowboy boots on, and you try to be a cowboy, too.
Hey, hello to the Calgary Stampede. Man, that's great.
2nd and 20. Brock, he's going deep. Rocky is there. It's intercepted. Oh, what a good play. Steve Johnson goes up and makes the interception, pull the ball right out of DiPietro's hands.
That's what I say. They've been playing hard. Saskatchewan has been playing hard. They need to have something good happen for them now. Get back in it.
Watch Steve Johnson fight through over top of DiPietro. That's just an outstanding play. And that couldn't have come at a better time, because you don't want to go into the locker room down 20-1. As it is, the Ticats lead 13-1. A lot better have it that way.
Ball hawking. Is that what they call ball hawking?
I think that's what it is, Jack. So from the 10-yard line, Joe Paupau's going to put it up if he can. Fires it over the middle to Craig Ellis. But Ed Galavakis played that well and contained his advance to about 3 or 4 yards.
Now, say that one again. If the phone don't ring,
you'll know I'm calling.
If the phone don't ring, you know it's me.
Oh, yeah.
You make my brown eyes turn blue.
All right, from the 14-yard line, it is 2nd down, Saskatchewan. 6 yards to go. Over the middle again to Craig Ellis, and with his little shift at the 20-yard line, I think he's picked up the first down.
I like what Paul's doing there. After Craig Ellis had caught one and fumbled, he come right back to him and say, hey, I haven't lost confidence in you, Craig. You're a great football player, and he gets it back to him.
That's a good point. Quarterbacks have to do that to the receivers. I know it's frustrating sometimes when guys make mistakes in front of you, but it's a very excellent point, Jocko.
First down, Saskatchewan, the ball just outside the Rough Riders' 20-yard line with a minute and a half left to play in this first half. Paupau's pass is complete to Sammy Green for not much yardage to about the 26.5-yard line. He'll pick up about 5. Gerald Best was there to cover him immediately. He looked right and then fired it out to the left, hoping that Green might be able to beat Best one-on-one.
He's thrown under, just trying to catch all those passes to control the coverage a little bit. He'll have to go down deep here in a minute. He's trying to draw up the defensive back there. Come up and play that short pass.
Craig Ellis, and a flag comes down, but the amazing speed of William Davis to come up there to try and throw a block.
That guy can really burn. And both those guys, they got some excitement on the field. Looked like about a 65-yard game.
A clip is being called against Saskatchewan, but what a explosive burst by Craig Ellis, and then William Davis came from nowhere, turned the Jets on, and unfortunately he'll be called. But watch it now, Leaf.
Good block by Bob Foley, the center, number 57, and Craig Ellis is off and running. Watch the move he'll make on McIntyre, coming right up there and just squirts right around him, and whoop, it's a great effort.
Well, because of the clipping penalty, it comes back to the 35 of the Ticats. But Saskatchewan is on the move with 1:04 left to play here in the first half.
And that's a lot of time.
Paupau for Sammy Green. He makes the catch. Touchdown, Rough Riders. He put the ball on a line.
We talked earlier in the ballgame, at the start of the ballgame, they got some guys that are instant 6 guys. It's 65 yards, then there's a penalty, and it's another 35. There's 100 yards of coverage right there. Woo!
Sammy Green runs a post corner on Mark Streeter, turns him around, and then Paupau floats the ball in there into the end zone. What a nice play, and we got ourselves a ball game.
And what a great thing that is when you get that good feeling, as you mentioned before, just before halftime. Wow, that's better than the rest and all the cold drinks.
Well, second best anyway.
Well, there you go. Listen, interception, great play by Steve Johnson. Now 2 plays later, touchdown. That's great football, and they're really back in it.
Dave Ridgway's point after is good. And as Leaf said, we've got a football game with 57 seconds left. There's your pal.
Hey, the Flame, there he is. You know, he gave me an autographed picture last year. I'm so lucky.
I know, I saw it in your living room. It looks dynamite. 13-8, Hamilton leads Saskatchewan, and the Riders, who were really in trouble at one point because Dieter Brock was threatening to go in for another touchdown, all of a sudden they get a life, and bango.
The phone is ringing for you now.
Well, I hope the Flame never makes a mistake and puts dynamite in there or anything.
Not a bad drive, eh? 5 plays, 1 minute and 17 seconds, 100 yards.
Now the key was that outstanding interception by Steve Johnson, because that truly was a fine play that he made.
Oh, you know, Paupau has not been outstanding, but this guy has completed 14 of 21 for 181 yards, which is not shabby.
I was going to say, that's pretty good. I felt like he had things going his way, and then he turned the ball over a couple of times.
There's Sammy Green. Sammy was with BC.
You got the ball, Bobby. And with 9 other ones before that.
Oh, yeah, he's been with a few.
He can work for a map company.
Now, are the Riders going to go deep with this one? Whoa. Ticats think they might be going short, but Ridgway kicks it high to Rufus Crawford at his 3-yard line.
Oh, they got a wall if he can get outside.
Well, Rufus cut it back in and is dropped at about the 23-yard line with 50 seconds left to play in this second quarter.
Craig Ellis.
And you know who made a good play on that kickoff cover was number 33, Craig Ellis. He was the guy down there that made the tackle on Rufus Crawford, so he's just doing it all this afternoon.
He's a combative guy.
He got away from Calgary. How'd that happen, Jocko?
I just said he's a combative guy. He'll fight with everybody. Your team also.
You don't fight with a coach.
No, he was a great. He just for playing one American running back, and we chose Krause.
Dave Graffey, the ball carrier for Hamilton, gets to the 25 for a pickup of a couple. Eddie Lowe, the middle linebacker, was over there. And you take a look at the ice pack on Mark Bragginolo's left ankle. That's the reason for Graffey being in the ball game.
Craig Ellis was a wide receiver up at Edmonton. We got cut. We brought him in as a running back, and we had Krause also as running back, and we went that way with. But the kid can play, as you can see.
Brock had problems again with the exchange from his center, and he tripped dropping back. And he is pinned at the 20-yard line now. Saskatchewan should call a timeout here with 26 seconds left.
They look tough, don't they?
Braganola isn't badly injured, Pat. It's just a slight twist. They got the pack on him, and Jonesy, the trainer, says he'll be back in the second half.
But, you know, they picked up some nagging injuries here in the first half. Mike Walker's out with the knee. Ron Johnson's got the bad thumb. Now Mark Braganola. And those are three good starters that you've had go down.
Well, Saskatchewan did call for their timeout. We've got 26 seconds left to play in this second quarter. It is Hamilton 13, Saskatchewan 8. And that old thing called momentum seems to be shifting here. Saskatchewan is coming on.
It's a really teeing it up to be really a good football game. I think the second half, the first half has been really exciting. You can see certain things happening and developing. As Leaf mentioned, that intercept was the play that turned everything around. Sometimes it's a play, it's a player or something. It's the catalyst that changes things. That was the play and the player. When that defensive back jumped and made that intercept.
Steve Johnson whipped it right out of the hands of Rocky DiPietro just as the Ticats were going in for another score.
Can you imagine somebody stealing something on an Italian? Just find that hard, eh?
Well, Jocko, you can say that, you see, because you're from that good Italian stock.
That's right.
Bernie Ruoff dropping back to punt. You can see he's had a good afternoon.
That's right.
This one hangs up there. He kicks it into the wind, and this is Fran McDermott from the Saskatchewan 50. And McDermott can certainly return punts. He gets it to the Hamilton 45 with 16 seconds left to play.
And I've seen Ridgway kick 50 and 55-yard field goals. The kid got a good, strong leg.
I told him about the holding now before.
Take a look at McDermott here with this. You used to be a punt returner. Lee, tell us about this.
Watch the move on Steve Kearns right here. Just dances right through. Boy, that was a great punt returner. I did it when there was no blocking. It's like the sacrificial lamb out there.
That's your problem.
Sammy Green makes the reception, and he got to about the 36-yard line with 10 seconds left on the clock. He'll be short by about a yard. Mark Streeter just wouldn't let him go. Streeter and John Priestner, 36, combined on the tackle. So they've got a shot at one more play, and then Ridgway can take his field goal try if they don't get it to the end zone. Sammy Green makes the catch and is dropped inside the 15-yard line with 3 seconds left.
I like the veteran quarterback in the situation. I thought Paul knew exactly what he wanted to do, and he didn't get hustled and say, well, I got to dump one off here. He almost hit it for the 6. Look at Sammy Green coming across here.
And nice pattern. He gets it right in front of the goalpost. And now what turned out could have been a long field goal attempt is now pretty much just a chip shot for Dave Ridgway.
The ball is spotted at about the 13.5, which makes it a 20.5-yard field goal for Dave Ridgway with Stu Fraser to hold it. As a matter of fact, they've got the ball back at about the 21, so he's closer, obviously, to the 14. The kick is up. It is good. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders have fought back here with 10 unanswered points. At halftime, it is Hamilton 13, Saskatchewan 11. In a moment, yesterday in the CFL with Ron Atchison.
He's super Atch. All right.
For 17 seasons, he waged war on opposing offenses throughout the league. On the field, he was tough and aggressive with a right forearm that made him legendary. Yet off the field, the Saskatchewan Roughrider was just a quiet, unassuming farm boy. We'll find out about both these roles as Carling O'Keefe Sports presents Yesterday in the CFL.
If any one of these Saskatchewan Roughrider legends was responsible for the growth of football to its current big league status,
it would have to be Big Ron Atchison. He played in the middle of that line for almost 2 decades. He played hard. He played when he was hurt. But most of all, he played his heart out. An all-time great, Ron Atchison. Ron Atchison was born in 1933 and began his football career with the Saskatoon Hilltops in 1950. In 1952, he landed a job with the Saskatchewan Roughriders as a middle guard. He would remain at that position for 17 seasons. During those years, there was only one Grey Cup win in 1966, and Ron Atchison was there to savor that moment. 2 years later, Ron Atchison retired, and in 1978, he was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. There, we talked about yesterday. Ron, you arrived in the camp of the Saskatchewan Roughriders amidst the euphoria of the Glenn Dobbs era. How did that impress a young farm boy from Saskatoon?
Well, it was a great impression, Johnny. I'd heard a lot about Glenn Dobbs and D'Auberville. I'd never seen a professional game in my life. So to come to all the hoop to law with D'Auberville and guys like Martin Ruby, and I was really impressed.
How long did you think it would last?
Johnny, I went out every year like I might not make the team. I think that I had that feeling all my life. I always said to myself, I got to make the team this year. I lost that fear, you know, that your rookie would have, but I always worked out hard through the winter. I went out to make the team.
Your career lasted for 17 years. I don't know of anybody who played any longer. With all those experiences, I hope you'll put it down on paper someday.
Well, Johnny, I'm been writing a book for about 5 years. It started out to be a book for the children. I've showed it to John Robertson, a writer from Saskatchewan. He said that I should print it someday. So it may take a couple of years, and I've thought of a name. I'd like to call it Rider Pride if it ever comes out.
Ron, as a middle guard, with that big cast on, you whomped a lot of centers. I can still hear some of them moaning. Now, did you really need that cast as long as you had it?
Well, I needed it to protect my arm. You know, they said I put it on there to brutalize them, but that's not really true, you know. Actually, I had a bad arm. I hurt the arm cranking a tractor, and I needed to protect the arm. Now, that someone happened to get hurt with it, that wasn't really none of my doing.
It wasn't your fault.
It wasn't my fault, no.
Ron Atchison was an all-star 6 times in his long career. His ability to survive year after year in a tough defensive position has rarely been equaled in the sport. When he entered the Hall of Fame in 1978, many thought his famous forearm cast should be enshrined with him. Today, Ron Atchison still lives in Regina, and he's still the modest hero who made Canadian football history. With all those years, all the recognition, and all those awards, unfortunately, there was only one Grey Cup.
Yes, John, and for a long time, I thought I was never going to be in one. I played for 15 years, and each year we got beaten out. When it came, I was very, very happy. It was actually, I had a feeling of high till next training camp. You know, it was just a wonderful feeling because it wasn't just that you won the Grey Cup. All Saskatchewan won it. You know, wherever you went, they felt that they were part of it. So it was really euphoria. It was a wonderful feeling. And I'd say it didn't end till the next training camp.
There were a lot of great moments in your long career, a lot of great moments, enjoyable moments. But I'm sure the most difficult must have been when you had to try to suddenly regroup and recover from the plane crash when Mel Beckett, Mario DeMarco went down, and Gordy Sturtridge, the great end from Winnipeg, and your pal Ray Cernick from the Saskatoon Hilltops.
Well, I don't know if you ever recover, John. You know, it's the kind of thing that you periodically think about it. You know, there were great guys. It was just like if you lost a brother or a child or something, you never really forget about it. And those fellas were, they were so much part of the team and a friendship. It's just like anything, you have to get over it, but you never forget it.
And finally, the reward that you really deserved, an entry into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. You really deserved it.
It's something, as a farm boy out milking cows and driving horses, I never thought that I would end up in the Sports Hall of Fame in my life. And the people in the hall have really done a wonderful given me a wonderful way of life. You know, they give me a wonderful finish to it. It's a great thing to know that you are niched in the annals of time as a player, which you had played for nothing.
Ron Atchison, one of the legends, yesterday in the CFL.
Canadian Football League this week. We all knew that the British Columbia Lions would be tough in 1984. After all, they are the Western Conference champions. They went to the Grey Cup game last season. But how tough will they be? If Friday night's contest against the Edmonton Eskimos is any indicator, they are going to be as tough as any club in the CFL. BC Place, what a stadium and what a game for the more than 40,000 who are in the seats to watch the Western champions go to work. Roy DeWalt at quarterback. Mervyn Fernandez, swerving Mervyn with one of his 4 touchdown scores on the night. The final score was 44-10 in favor of the Lions over the Eskimos, and it was this combination that really was responsible for that inflated score. Fernandez showing all of his guile, all of his moves, broken field running as good as you'll see in any league, and Mervyn doesn't stop until he's in the end zone once again. Now Lansdowne Park in Ottawa, new look Lansdowne Park with their new turf. Same old Roughriders, though. They find ways to beat you. Junior Robinson with the hit on Bernard Quarles. Al Washington picks up the fumble, and he doesn't stop until he's gone the length of the field. They have recorded it as a 107-yard fumble return. It appeared to me as though it should have been 104 yards, but however you slice it, Ottawa won the ball game 17-16. Watch this interception late in the ball game by Kenny Miller to preserve the Ottawa one-point victory. Next Friday night, we'll have Calgary playing in Edmonton, a very big contest for both those teams, trying to grab a playoff spot. You'll see it on CTV starting at 9:30. Then the Ticats go into Ottawa, one of the great rivalries. That's Saturday night. Sunday, the game of the week. BC plays against the defending Grey Cup champions in Toronto, and we'll have Montreal playing at Saskatchewan. You know the Concord will be better than their first week. And the selectors of the Rothman Stars of the Week, which will be out on Wednesday, have a tough job. A lot of names could find their way into the winner's circle on Wednesday. Roy DeWalt, for one. Here he combines with Sandusky, but let's not forget that DeWalt broke the single-game BC Lions passing record established by Joe Kapp. And how about the outstanding lineman? Greg Marshall of the Ottawa Roughriders was in that Calgary backfield all night. As a matter of fact, he was responsible for one of the big plays of the game. Here he gets in quarterback Bernard Quarles' face, and that allowed Kenny Miller to make that interception in the end zone. And though you're supposed to be big to play this game, don't tell that to Richie Hall. He had 2 quarterback sacks, as the 5'6" player has to be considered one of the candidates for the Defensive Player of the Week. Those are the people we'll be keeping an eye on as the Rothman Stars of the Week come out on Wednesday. Right now, the first half highlights with Leaf and Jack.
Jack, the halftime score, Hamilton 13, the Saskatchewan Roughriders 11. And in that first half, I thought it was really divided into 2. The Hamilton Ticats jumping out to a 13-1 lead at one point. And then, of course, the Saskatchewan Roughriders came storming back. But you know what impressed me about Dieter Brock? Time and time again, he gets himself into trouble with second and long situations. He's able to pick them up. Our first highlight shows that.
Oh, he's tough. He can do it all.
But he found himself after a holding penalty, second and long. He got 10 yards to Rufus Crawford on the first play. And then he looks to number 17, Wayne Lee. He makes a nice catch. But on a 1st and 20 situations, that's what you have to keep those drives going. And on the next play, he's going to come up big to that fine running back, number 35, Kelvin Lindsay, down the sidelines.
And this is what's interesting, that Matthew T took a little inside rush, and then he bounced out, Brock did, and then he just found his good new running back coming out of the backfield, and he dumps it to him. The guy makes a good catch and a good run, and that's a big touchdown in that situation there.
Well, at that point, the Hamilton Ticats did lead 13-1, but boy, did those Saskatchewan Roughriders come storming back. Joe Powell got things on track, but really the key play that I thought got them back in the ball game was the great interception by number 17, Steve Johnson.
That was a heck of a play. And then after that, after this intercept, that in the second quarter, Saskatchewan had over 200 yards of offense in just the 1 quarter of play. He just stole it right from DePietro.
Well, that was the key play to get them turned around, and then it was the Craig Ellis show as number 33 to find running back.
Little draw play here, and he takes it for 65 yards. A clip called later at the end of the run down here and brought it back another 15, but still an excellent field position.
But you don't want to go back into that locker room trailing by 12 points, and this was the play that really got them going, as on the next one, Sammy Green, the receiver they received from the BC Lions, runs an excellent post corner on Mark Streeter to get the touchdown to bring them close.
That's right. Craig Ellis and Sammy Green, a couple good football players, some other franchises that came over here, and they're making those guys tough in Regina. There's no doubt.
Well, this is the CFL on CTV. We'll have the second kickoff in just a moment.
The situation with the Saskatchewan Roughriders as they come back is that they're loaded with confidence. The players going off the field, 2 or 3 of them said, that's what we call by Saskatchewan tough. We don't give up. And that's what they showed in the first half. So let's see what happens in the second half as Saskatchewan obviously comes in here with the momentum.
And look at those offensive yards for Saskatchewan. 279 on the half, but 200 in the second quarter. Ridgway's kickoff sails down to Rufus Crawford, 3 yards deep in his end zone. And Rufus was tripped up on an excellent downfield tackle by Ray Elgard, who was down there to pull the legs out from under him inside the 15-yard line.
That was a great play by Elgard. Not only did he run down there with some speed, but he made the play as well. And they got great defensive field position as a result of a guy really hustling down there. I like to see that.
Well, I'll tell you what the Hamilton Ticat fans would like to see. They'd like to see Dieter Brock put some points on the board, because this is a very precarious 2-point lead for Hamilton as we begin play here in the second half. Brock's pass, no good. There's a flag down on the field. It's not at the point where Dwayne Jett was trying to make the reception. Terry Urban was covering him, but there is a flag in the center of the field. Probably a holding call, wouldn't you think?
9 times out of 10 when they drop it that area, it's holding.
Holding. Hamilton in 33. Decline. Second down.
Al Bruno is saying, what is Kelvin Lindsay doing holding on this play?
Boy, he did. No, he didn't hold, he tackled.
That's a 2-point takedown.
Kenny McEachran was firing in there on Dieter Brock, and I guess Lindsay figured the only way to get rid of him was to hold him. The pass for Rufus Crawford was a little bit high, and as he went up to get it, Fran McDermott just stripped him, and Hamilton will be punting.
You know what? I've noticed this already. Just Saskatchewan, with that lift they got going in the halftime, they did bounce back out of it. The opening kickoff, they make a big play. On defense, they're really hungry right now. It's interesting to see what's going to happen. They should have great field position as a result of this punt right here.
Bernie Ruoff is standing inside his end zone right now. He'll get it away from about the 4-yard line. Waiting, number 3, Fran McDermott. Number 1, Tim Kearse. Into the wind, it will come to McDermott at his 52-yard line. Excellent coverage by the Ticats. McDermott tried to get to the outside, could not do so. Ed Gadavakis was there to make the tackle. And Bill, what's happening?
Well, the story is, I just checked the Saskatchewan Roughrider bench in the injuries, Pat, is that Rusty Olsen is the one injury. He has got a hamstring muscle pull. They don't know how serious it is, but he is definitely out for the game. As far as the rest of them are concerned, they're all healthy. That's good news. It's worse on the Hamilton side, and I'll tell you about their injuries in a moment.
Well, they're in the third quarter in Winnipeg, and the Blue Bombers are out in front of the Argonauts 10-6. Pow going deep, looking for the speedster, William Davis, but it is picked out. This is Gerald Bess. And Bess, with his second interception of the season, gives Hamilton possession inside their 10-yard line.
Stopped by Sammy Green.
Gerald Bess had excellent coverage on the play all the way down the sidelines, and really makes a good play to come up with that interception. Yes, Jocko, he looked like the receiver on that play.
He did. Yeah, he really played that ball really well. That's the free safety kind of a guy that can just go right back there deep and turn and go and get it. just what you're looking for.
Well, sometimes, though, an interception like that, if you're the quarterback, it's as good as a punt because they got it right away.
Because they're starting from their 8-yard line right now. Hamilton is. The give is to Kelvin Lindsay, but there is absolutely nowhere for him to go. Kenny McEachran was over very quickly to drop him virtually at the line of scrimmage.
What they're doing, McEachran come from the outside with a good outside rush. Give that defensive end, like a Matthew Teague, a chance to take an inside rush sometimes. Really makes it tough on the running game down there or the throwing game. He gets a good rush. Shut down the running lanes.
It's good to see Kenny McEachran back in that green and white uniform. I always associated him with the Roughriders. I'm glad to see him back.
The pass is complete to Rufus Crawford, and Rufus picks up a first down for the Ticats at the 21-yard line. Fran McDermott knocked him out of bounds at that point, but Rufus has just started brilliantly in '84.
Well, he runs a good disciplined pattern, straight out to the sidelines. Good catch, and obviously Dieter Brock has decided that this is going to be his man in the first 2 games of the season. 5 catches today, 7 last week. It's a pretty good effort.
You notice that number 6, Ron Johnson, is back out there, so although he injured his hand in the first quarter, he's back on the play. There's going to be pass interference called against Steve Johnson on Rocky DiPietro. Now, that's the matchup that swung this game around. It was Johnson's interception taking the ball out of DiPietro. This time he was all over him. Good call by the officials.
Defensive forward pass interference. Saskatchewan 17. First down.
Brock likes to run that curl in pattern. You know, he really runs, you know, to throw that ball to those guys curling in.
So it's first down to Hamilton at the 30-yard line. Their own. Well, Brock hung in there very, very well, but then he got caught from behind by Rick Moore. And he manages to get back to the line of scrimmage, but not much further. There had to be good coverage downfield because there was nobody open, obviously.
That's a good point, Pat. And what I wanted to bring out is in the past, the Saskatchewan Roughriders the last few seasons have really not had an aggressive secondary. This year, they've made some changes. They've changed their cornerbacks, and these guys are coming up and playing those receivers tight. They're bumping them, trying to push them off their patterns. And Dieter Brock, for the most part, has had difficulty in finding people open.
2nd and 10. Brock's pass down the middle. He was looking for Ron Johnson. Kenny McEachran just came flying through there. Kenny Hinton had the coverage on the intended receiver, and now we will have a 3rd down punt from Bernie Ruoff.
That was just to echo your statements just a minute ago. That's exactly what they did in the secondary again. They really attacked the football. I mean, those guys are sitting back in a good blitz situation are also from the front bunch.
And, you know, as a former receiver, those were the kind of secondaries that I hated to play against because, you know, when you catch it or when you're running through the middle, that some guy's just waiting to drill you.
They're going to catch it in the back.
That's right.
Hamilton training staff out to attend to an injured Ticat. It's number 53. That is Jeff Arp, the right guard.
He was an All-Canadian 2 years in a row at the University of Western Ontario. Came to the Ticats 3 years ago and was part of that All-Canadian offensive line that they use.
So Pat Brady is in there to snap on 3rd downs. And Bernie Ruoff awaits outside his 15-yard line. High twisting punt that Fran McDermott takes it as 41 and only gets to the 46-yard line, but that's where the Roughriders will take over, trailing 13-11. We'll be back in just a moment.
Situation with the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the injury department is this. Ron Johnson has got a sprained thumb. It's taped up. It remains to be seen if he's going to be able to grab the ball or not. Mark Braganola has a sprained ankle. He's not running too well on it, but he is playing also. Mike Walker, he is out definitely for the game. He's got a knee injury, and they won't know how serious that is until after the game. But they're all bad for Hamilton, who do not have much bench strength, Pat.
All right, the Saskatchewan Roughriders trailing by 2 points take over first down at their 46. The pass goes to Sammy Green, but Sammy, you got to catch the football before you run. And he was going to try and do a spinorama on Gerald Bess.
Well, that's the second time he's done that today, and we've talked about that. You've got to come up with those plays.
want to lay off on a guy like Sammy a little bit, and that's why they're throwing it out there, because if he does make that catch, boy, he is tough one-on-one. I wouldn't want to be the defender out there. It's tough.
2nd and 10, Saskatchewan. Over the middle to Craig Ellis. Oh, and Ellis coughs up the football. Howard Fields dives on it, and the Ticats will take over. Ellis, with great effort and determination, wanted to pick up the first down. He did, but then he got hit from behind.
That's the second time that he's done it in a situation somewhat similar.
Well, let's have a look. Ellis coming over the middle, makes the catch. Watch number 65, Mitchell Price. He'll come into your picture. A good shot from behind. The ball comes loose. Howard Fields, Johnny on the spot to make the fumble recovery.
So Hamilton, who have looked a little bit lethargic in the opening moments of this third quarter, now get a big break. They have first down at their 46-yard line. Brock steps up, fires. Ron Johnson makes the completion. You can see that his left hand is taped up, but he's there to pick up the first down for Hamilton at the Saskatchewan 51.
Pat, it really appeared as though he tried to cradle that ball in as he caught it, too. I know it was a low throw, and that could be the reason, but quite possibly that thumb really is bothering him.
He just got a kick out of Brock that time, just the way he stood up there, cool as ever, and then just threw it in there.
Brock fires it out there, complete to Rocky DiPietro, and the big guy will be very close to a first down at about the 41-yard line. Brad McDermott was providing the defensive coverage on the inside receiver of the Ticats.
People talk about ball control on an offensive team. Well, that's ball control with the passing game. Just send Rocky DiPietro out to the flat. Gosh, he's 6'4". If he catches at the 5-yard mark, he can fall for another 3, and you wind up yourself in second and short situations. Good offense.
Jocko, I wanted to ask you, Reuben Berry just spent a few minutes talking to Craig Ellis, who's made those 2 fumbles. He was down on the knee, back in the scrimmage line here, or the sidelines, talking to him very earnestly. And I wonder, would you talk to a player during a game like that?
Yeah, I don't know what he was telling him other than to hang on to the football. I think sometimes it's hard to take some of the skill away from the player if you say, well, put both hands over it at all times and everything like that. That's a difficult thing when a guy fumbles the football and in a critical situation, especially so.
Well, he was talking very earnestly to him.
Yeah,
I think maybe he was trying to give him confidence as much as anything.
Right.
Bill, I think he was saying it's going to be my way or the trail way unless you hold on to that ball a little longer.
That's the way they used to talk to you, Leaf, in Regina.
Second down, inches to go for the first down for the Ticats. Brock keeps it, just dives straight ahead and gets inside the 40. So the Hamilton drive will continue with 9 minutes and 15 seconds left to play in this third quarter.
Al Johns made the stop.
Well, Saskatchewan fans have to be pleased at what they've seen, though. Their defense has been tough. Joe Pau has thrown the ball well. They got a lot of speed in that offense right now. So there are obviously brighter days ahead, and they're playing well right now. Brock's pass was intended for Calvin Lindsay, but the ball sailed over his head.
Just bringing an extra linebacker and just made it a little bit tough. He took, and Brock reads all that stuff so well, so he knew he had to unload, and he just didn't throw the ball. He threw the ball away, threw it out of harm's way, so the defensive team couldn't jump on it.
Mark Bragnola goes out of the ball game. Dave Graffey comes in on 2nd and 10 Hamilton with the ball at the Saskatchewan 50. Al Bruno is saying, hey, let's get some points. These guys are going to be tough here in the second half. Here's the reverse. And this is the kid we were telling you about, Dwayne Jett. But there was nowhere to go because Eddie Lowe just came over and upended him at the line of scrimmage.
And I watched Kenny McEachern on that play. Made a great play. He read the play coming, and he came up there, and he forced the play back inside to allow Eddie Lowe to make the hit. That was a well-played defensive football play.
Well, you can't fool those old pros. And, Jocko, you hit the nail on the head. Kenny McEachern did force it inside. But you know what? There's no question Saskatchewan comes into this game as the decided underdog. And the longer you, as a Hamilton Ticat team, the longer you keep them in the game, boy, you have to be worried.
Too late! Get up!
Now, it looks to me like the Ticats could be short a man. Anyway, Bernie Ruoff's field goal try will come from the 46.5, and now a flag does come down. Now, good play.
Well, Bernie made a smart move. He just yelled in at the center there, don't snap it. You know, watch Bernie going off the field there. Now, I know as his former holder, he's hotter than a firecracker right now. You'd be so mad. Watch it, look, he gets excited.
Third down.
Hey, what happened now? Has he removed his glasses? Is he wearing contacts now because he doesn't have his wristwatch or his glasses on anymore? I just wonder what happened to the guy that I've known.
He keeps the watch on the bench. He reads the book at halftime. He's reading the novel. I'll tell you a funny story about that when we get a chance in a minute.
And as a result of that penalty, Hamilton is now out of field goal range for Ruoff, who will be punting. McDermott at his 4-yard line. And again, good coverage by the Hamilton Ticats. He wanted to cut it to the outside, could not do so because Wayne Lee was there to make the tackle. It's Hamilton 13, Saskatchewan 11, and we'll be back in just a moment. Well, Leif, there's a look at your friend Bernie Ruoff. Tell us that story.
Well, in Bernie's first year when he was kicking for Winnipeg,
Put it low again.
one of the big Grizzly offensive linemen for the Bombers, Bill Frank, who you all remember, a great player, came in at halftime. The Bombers were down by a couple of touchdowns, and everybody was really in a real dogfight out there. And he came in the locker room, and there was Bernie sitting in his locker reading a book at halftime. He says, I'm going to kill him. I'm going to kill him. They had to hold him off to keep away from Bernie. He was reading the book. Had the watch on, reading the book.
First down, Saskatchewan. Joe Paupow starts from his 8-yard line. Stu Fraser makes the catch at about the 16 or 17. He won't have the first down, but he gives them a little bit of breathing room. Howard Fields was there to stick him the moment the ball got to him.
I like when Saskatchewan is using a little bit of motion and flooding into areas and everything, flooding those zones a little bit, made it a little bit easier on Paupow. Hard to throw. They got a good zone defense, and it's hard to throw in there sometimes.
Well, often so many times, Jocko, when they use that motion, it gives Joe Paupow a quick read on if it's man-to-man or zone coverage.
Exactly.
Greg Figure, the ball carrier, has the first down for the Riders as he gets to the 20. So that's an important series of downs for Saskatchewan. They trail by only 2 points. We've got 6 minutes and 35 seconds left to play in this third quarter, and the Riders have played extremely well defensively, and they seem to be gaining some momentum again.
Really, that's a big first down. When you're backed up, your offensive philosophy changes. You want to just make a first down or two and get yourself back in that field position.
They swing it out to Craig Ellis, and Ellis gets to about the 29-yard line.
I like to see him going to Craig Ellis again after he had the misfortune of fumbling the ball. They haven't given up on the guy. He comes back and he dives for extra yardage again. Here it is.
Good job, Ellis. Set the ball away, baby.
Watch this.
And he is very close to the first down as they bring the chains out. Well, I'll tell you, when you can start at your 8-yard line and move the ball out very close to the 30 on just 3 plays, you're doing some kind of a job.
You know, you always look for quarterbacks, like you kind of break the field down in 3 general areas. At least the coach and I did that. It's how you come out from your own end to the 35, and in between the 35, how you might do as a quarterback, and then how you do from the 35-yard end. Some people really have great difficulties getting out of their own end, but they're doing a good job here.
Second down and inches to go for the first down. And Paupow this time keeps it himself. Doesn't look like he particularly enjoys that quarterback sneak, but it was effective enough. He got the first down.
I saw BC did something the other night you don't see too often. They got so many real great athletes. They move them all over in every position. They bring in Cowan to run the sneaks. DeWalt comes out, Cowan comes in. You know, they got that much confidence to bring a guy in right off the bench and run a quarterback sneak. They got a bunch of good athletes, an exciting team out there.
It's first down, Saskatchewan at their own 31. The swing comes out here to Craig Ellis. What a football game Craig Ellis is having. He's out to the 53-yard line, and it'll be another Saskatchewan first down.
I love love that when a guy can redeem himself. You know, that's great. And the coach had great faith in him.
Well, this is a design play. It's a swing screen pass. He gets a few blocks out front, but basically this is all on his own. He makes a good cut here back against the grain, and Craig Ellis, he's had a couple of fumbles, but other than that, he's played a good ball game today.
22 yards to pick up as Pow now comes back to William Davis. And I'll tell you, it was a good thing that Gerald Best got a hold of him when he did, because Davis just looked like he was sneaking to the outside, and he was history if he had.
That was gone.
Best making the stop.
What a lot of pressure they put on a cornerback on a play like this, because really it's do or die. If you don't make the tackle, it's all over.
And Pow's got a good enough arm that he can get the ball out there in a hurry.
That's a high percentage pass. That's that ball control with the passing game.
Second down, about 4 yards to go. And coming in to run the football was number 19, and that is Robert Reed.
I'd have to take a measurement here and just see where she is.
Robert Reed, the ball.
Well, there's a look at Craig Ellis being attended to on the sideline. Obviously, problem with his left leg area. Pow has been good on 21 of 30 so far this afternoon for 277 yards. It's third down, a couple of yards to go, so Badowich comes into the ball game. Look at his average for the afternoon, close to 53 yards. This one is end over end. And Rufus takes it at his 8-yard line. Tell you, he can accelerate in a hurry, though. Rufus Crawford gets out to the 23, and that's where the Ticats will start when we come back. It's Hamilton 13, Saskatchewan 11, and we will be back in just a moment.
Shortly, just as soon as the trainer could knead the cramps out of his thigh. That's what's bothering him, and that's why he came out.
Thank you, Bill. You know, fellas, 1984 to me is going to be the greatest year in the CFL's history. I mean, we got some competitive clubs in this.
Oh, yeah. A lot of outstanding and exciting athletes.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Montreal Concord get into action again next weekend out in Saskatchewan.
Ron Johnson on the screen, but there was no chance he was going anyplace because Terry Irvin just said, "How do you do?" He was there.
He is a veteran player, and he read that thing with all that motion going away, saw it on the film, and he really jumped up there, and he'll pound you then. When he's got that good free shot in, he's going to let you have it. Whew. Good play, T.I.
Well, that's a read for him. As soon as he sees that receiver stop, boy, he just comes.
Loss was 3 yards. It is 2nd and 13. Hamilton back at their 20-yard line. Rock's pass. Broken up. No.
Made the catch.
What a catch that was. Glenn Suter thought that he had broken that play up.
Rocky DiPietro just made the best catch of the ball game right here. He absolutely stole the ball away right there from Glenn Suter. Great catch. See, that's what happens with Dieter Brock. He has confidence in his receivers that they can come up and do those. He'll throw it up in a crowd.
He had one stolen on him, Rocky did. Now, he stole one from the defense there. That was an offensive interception.
All right, they got about a half a yard to go because of the loss on first down. It's third down, and now they're sending the punting unit in. It looked for a minute as though they were going to go, and I'm sure Saskatchewan was saying, "Yeah, go for it. Go ahead, coach, go for it." But Al Bruno's been around football a good number of years, too. He says, "No, we're going to kick it away. We've got one of the best punters in all of football in Bernie Ruoff." So on 3rd and less than a yard, Hamilton will be punting. Unless, of course, they can draw Saskatchewan offside. Let's wait and see. He hangs it high. McDermott is at his 35-yard line. The flag comes down as McDermott gets to the 43-yard line. I just want to see now, if they call this on Terry Irvin, that's a bad call.
Well, let's wait and see, and I think...
I think they called the play back down this way further.
Yeah, they did. They didn't call blocking from the rear. It was a rough play. Want to hear referee Lauren Wood's call on this.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Saskatchewan number 4. First down.
Well, it was on Glenn Suter. It was not on the block. And so, consequently, Saskatchewan will start back at their 22-yard line. Excuse me, make it 27. Paopao took a deep drop, then fired, and ooh, was it a critical pass. Very nearly picked off by Felix Wright, who stepped in front of the intended receiver, Robert Reed, at the last moment. That was not one of Paopao's great throws.
No, he hung up on it, then he threw it the second time. He kept looking in that same direction. That was brutal. You could see what happened as a result of that punt. Look at the great field position that Hamilton has as a result of that punt. They had to punt away, plus the penalty, and then almost the intercept.
Second and 10, Saskatchewan. It is still 13-11. Hamilton leading with 1:25 left in the third quarter. Paopao unloads this one for William Davis, and it is picked off by Gerald Bess. The flag comes down. Well, a good job by Gerald Bess, but I think the Ticats are going to be called for clipping.
They were.
But they will retain possession of the ball. But again, this is going to be a situation where it's almost as good as a punt because Hamilton's going to be forced deep.
Well, that's a good point, Pat, but this is pretty much an instant replay of Best interception earlier, and he just fights the ball away from William Davis, and that's his third interception already after 2 games in the 1984 season.
You know, Leaf, we talked about something about receivers before on prior occasions, you and I. In other words, that a great receiver can get some separation on the defense once by great speed. That's what that young Davis has. The other one is by a move, which he doesn't have yet. And the third is by jumping ability, going to the football, which he doesn't have yet.
You know, you talk about jumping ability. Margene Atkins could jump 3 stories high. Unbelievable.
Mervyn Fernandez got that great jumping ability. Terry Greer got that great jumping ability. That's what makes those guys the premier receivers in our league.
There you saw a good shot at the clip being called on Felix Wright. No question. That was an excellent call.
But look where the Ticats start, back at their 18-yard line. Brock to Bragagnola, and again, he was going to take off before he had the ball in his possession.
The Saskatchewan defensive team has been on that field a long time. You know, that's going to really hurt them maybe in this fourth quarter. You'll wonder about that. In other words, they're getting a little tired out there. They got to come on up and get something going offensively. Got to maintain a little bit of ball possession.
Well, often, you know, in the summertime, the Western teams would complain about playing in the humidity in Eastern Canada. This is not the case today. Just a beautiful afternoon at Ivor Wynne Stadium. Humidity not a factor at all, so, you know, maybe they'll have a little energy left.
When I looked at my own schedule and I saw coming in here in July, into Hamilton in July, I thought, wow-wee, that's going to be warm, you know. I just got nothing but short-sleeve shirts, you know.
Bring a life
and running shoes.
Bring a life jacket with you.
Billy Jackson is the injured Saskatchewan Roughrider.
They can ill afford to lose that guy.
It doesn't appear particularly serious. Billy probably wouldn't agree with me right now, but at least his legs aren't affected, and it might be more of having the wind knocked out.
Well, Dr. Marsden, how long have you been looking at these things?
Just want to remind everybody that the Canadian junior football season will begin this weekend. On Saturday, July the 21st, Windsor AKO is at Montreal at 2 o'clock. The following Saturday, the Junior Concord hosts the Hamilton Hurricanes at 2. So listen, you get out and support that junior football because so many of them have made their way into the CFL and have played prominent roles.
Does it hurt? Only when my heart beats, you know, that's what
But you know, at least he's walking off, Jocko. That was the point I was trying to make.
Okay, Doctor.
Jocko, where are you off to next week? What game are you doing?
Hey, the Friday the 13th up at Edmonton, the 2 Alberta teams are going to tangle. It'll be really an outstanding. They always are great games. I'm excited about that one. That'll be a good football game.
And I don't think that people should read too much into Edmonton's big loss against BC.
Edmonton and Calgary are 1-1. That's what it's all about.
Yep. Second and 10 from the 18-yard line for the Ticats. Jumped in the air, and when he did, Dieter just scooted out from under him, but there were help from the friends. Rick Goltz finally hauled him down.
You can't see anything then when that guy takes that great... Well, look at that. Wow.
Looks like Superman jumping off a building there as he comes after it. But, you know, Saskatchewan Roughrider front four really put a lot of heat on Dieter Brock this afternoon. There you see it, 5 sacks.
Worked hard. They've worked hard. That's what I'm saying. If you can get them off the field, get them a little rest into this last quarter, they got to keep coming hard.
15 seconds left to play in the third quarter. Bernie Ruoff stands at his goal line to punt on 3rd and 13.
Time. There it goes again.
Yeah.
You know, those guys that start looking at that 20-second clock, they get a little bit spooky, then they get nervous.
You know what it was, though? He was hoping that he'd be able to cheat for an extra second and maybe get the punt going the other way if the quarter had ended. But what he forgot was it can't end on a penalty
anyway. It can't end on a penalty. Exactly right.
Boy, you guys are sharp today.
Oh.
You must have got to bed early last night.
Want me to tell you about if the phone don't ring, you'll know it's me calling?
I don't want to hear about that anymore. I may understand it.
I'm going to walk out backwards so you think I'm coming in.
All right, standing 5 yards deep is Bernie Ruoff. And Saskatchewan should end up with the ball in Hamilton territory. Except that Ruoff really cranks one here. McDermott is back to his 53, and now he does get to the outside. And he cut it back inside the 45 to about the 43. And so when we come back to start the fourth quarter of play, the Saskatchewan Roughriders will be in a position to take the lead. At the end of the third quarter, the score is Hamilton 13, Saskatchewan 11. We'll return with the fourth quarter in a moment. Well, the motto this year is Saskatchewan tough. I'll tell you, they've been tough all afternoon. They've trailed by 2 points. Now Saskatchewan has a first down at the Hamilton 43. Craig Ellis. And Felix Wright got a hold of him, then drove him right into the television truck. But Craig picks up very close to a first down. And now he's limping a little.
Face mask, huh?
That's something you just can't teach a running back. Craig Ellis, just his own free will, socked Grover Covington, the defensive end of that side, pinched down, and he just broke it outside, and that's just a super effort. He's had himself a real ball game today.
Oh, he had something like 125 yards in the first half of offense, you know, running and receiving. He's going out of the ball game now. Craig Ellis is.
Danger foul. Face mask. Hamilton on 28. First down.
All right, and look at where the ball is now at the 18-yard line as we look at Craig Ellis.
Yeah, see that move going around Grover Covington? What a super move he made right there.
Again, you want your veteran quarterback. Get aces, deuces, trades. Get points. Don't lose the ball, possession of the ball here. Get points.
Greg Figger, the ball carrier, carries it straight ahead to about the 13-yard line for a pickup of 5. Craig Ellis had gone out of the ball game. Robert Reed had come in.
And in the last minute of the game out in Winnipeg, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are ahead of the Toronto Argonauts 20-10.
Wow, that's a turnaround for the Bombers, I'll tell you.
Well, a lot of people expected that after that loss in Calgary last week that Winnipeg would come out tough, and it looks as though they have.
Craig Ellis is back in there on 2nd and 5. Pow wants to go to the end zone. Touchdown, Sammy Green. The Riders have the lead.
You know, if Saskatchewan can grab on and hang on here in the fourth quarter and win this ball game, it's a 5-way tie for first place in the West. Did you know that? If the Bombers win and these guys win, it's really interesting. It's parity.
I'll tell you, Pow looked at that pass. He just drilled her in there.
Good throw and a good job by Sammy Green to position himself so he could make that catch. Screen off the cornerback, Mark Streeter, and make the catch. That's a great play. That's his second touchdown.
Sammy told me, as a matter of fact, Leaf, before he went out, he said, don't worry. He says, we've been making it tough on ourselves, but we're going to win this game. You count on it.
As Leaf mentioned, his second touchdown, his 6th reception, a total of 101 yards. Dave Ridgway's point after is good, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, for the first time in this ball game, have the lead. It is Saskatchewan 18, Hamilton 13. We'll be back in just a moment. The point after, there was a roughing penalty against John Priestner, so the kickoff will come from the Hamilton 50. Now, Rube Berry is saying, should I kick this thing short? Should I drill it into the end zone? What do we do here?
Why, you her down through the middle. Let her bounce around. No, bounce crazily.
The name of the game is field possession.
Right.
Just put them down in a hole.
All right, Leaf, you didn't get a chance. Go ahead.
Well, you know, I kind of like the outside kick in this position, too. You got a chance to have a good shot at it, but they won't do it.
And they'll give up the single point. Well, That's a good point, because now it's an unconverted touchdown, 2 field goals. It's 19-13. Kelvin Lindsay just decided, obviously on instructions from Al Bruno, if it goes into the end zone, you just go down. So now at least
when in doubt, don't run it out. No. That's right. That's what I used to tell them. When in doubt, don't run it out.
So they take over at their own 35. They're trailing by less than a converted touchdown. They've got one of the great quarterbacks in CFL history at the controls. Let's see what the Ticats can do. We are just underway here in the 4th quarter. Saskatchewan leads it by 6 points. This is Calvin Lindsay. And Lindsay is out over the 50 to the 52-yard line. Kenny McEachran rode him down at that point along with Glenn Suter. But another big gainer of 26 yards for Kelvin Lindsay from Ohio State.
Well, Pat, when we look ahead to our Carling O'Keefe game stars at the end of the ball game, certainly Kelvin Lindsay along with Craig Ellis would have to receive some consideration for that offensive star.
He's got pretty good balance, doesn't he?
Oh, he sure does.
First down, Hamilton at their 51. The pass was thrown before Mark Bragnola had a chance to turn around.
Again, it's just that constant pressure of the green front. You know, those guys are coming on hard. The credit to them. They've worked hard all day long. And this is the most important quarter to work hard.
You know, Rider Pride is something that has been associated with Saskatchewan over the years. And what a great book that is. Both Leaf and Jocko are prominently mentioned in it. Jocko for doing the train whistle, which we may get to a little later.
That's a good story. Yeah.
Rock's pass intended for Johnson. And boy, I'll tell you, you talk about a guy who's tough. How about Kenny Hinton? He just was not going to allow that receiver to catch the football.
Another one of those good veteran players.
Does a good job scraping through here on Ron Johnson to make sure he cannot come up with a catch. But, you know, Pat, you talk about Rider Pride. I really enjoyed my 4 years out there playing. It was just a super environment to play football. The people in the city of Regina were just tremendous to all the football players. And, gosh, I had a good time.
Oh, that's great.
Jocko used to hang around.
Good looking women there. I married one. All right.
And you used to hang around LaSalle Hotel a fair bit with the Kangles boys.
Oh, yeah, that's a great place.
And we'll be there next week as the Concord visit. Good punt by Bernie Ruoff. Chases Fran McDermott back to his 4-yard line. But, you know, that little guy gives you everything he's got on punt returns. He wheels it back out to the 19. Pretty good return, 15 yards. Saskatchewan
really outstanding.
Has the lead, 19-13. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, next Saturday on Wide World of Sports, you can look for the Canadian Gymnastics Senior Women. Then we'll have some boxing for you. Wilfred Benitez and Davey Moore in their junior middleweight championship bout. The Cleveland Grand Prix with Indy-type cars, and our Olympic moment will feature Willie DeWitt, the great gold medal hope out of Edmonton.
Out of where?
Out of Calgary?
All right, out of Calgary.
Out of Alberta.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you what, I really like that guy. Whew. He's fierce.
He is a tough one. Now the Riders are hemmed in deep at their 18-yard line, have a first down. They give it to Craig Ellis, and Ellis does what he's done all afternoon. He slashes in there and picks up a solid 5 yards.
Well, they've been able to move the ball when they've been deep in their own territory. Let's see if they can do it once again. It's getting critical. Just a little over 11 minutes remaining, and Saskatchewan hanging on to that 19-13 lead.
Ball is at the 24-yard line, and we've got another timeout with an injured player down.
Sauvé shaken up on the play.
David Sauvé, the defensive end, was a little slow to get to his feet.
I'll be interested to see what they do. Once that trainer steps on the field, they have to take the fellow out of the game. And that's exactly what they're telling Ray Jones and Dave Sauvé. He's got to come out for at least one play.
David's a fair size at 6'4", 260 pounds.
Well, he hasn't missed any meals.
Dave and I are about the same size, except I'm not quite 6'4".
But Patty O, you've been on a strict diet, haven't you?
You can tell, can't you?
Yeah. Where are those chocolate chip cookies?
How about that hat size?
It's second down and about 5 yards to go, Saskatchewan at their 24-yard line. Again, they give to Craig Ellis, but no, sir. Hamilton got tough that time.
Let me just correct myself on that score that I gave you. Winnipeg 20, Toronto 10. I said the last minute of the ball game. That was the last minute of the third quarter. They're currently in the fourth quarter now.
Same score?
Same score. La même chose.
What a bilingual crew we've got here. Spy, way to go.
Getting ready. We're going to Montreal in a couple of weeks.
Well, Ellis wasn't able to pick up the first down, so on third and about 1.5 yards, Badowich is punting, averaging almost 50 yards. This time kicking into the wind. It bounces down around the Hamilton 48. Howard Fields. And Fields with an excellent return gets into Saskatchewan territory at about the 43.5-yard line. And now it's nervous time for the Roughriders because Dieter Brock has been denied all of this half. What other quarterback would you love to have in a situation than Dieter Brock right here?
Well, this could be the break the Ticats have been waiting for. They pinned the Roughriders deep in their own air territory, and now with a short punt, they've got Dieter in striking range.
A 19-yard return by Howard Fields has given Hamilton possession at the Saskatchewan 44-yard line. But Brock doesn't get it away. The ball pops loose, and let's see who's got it. Saskatchewan recovers.
Jerry Friesen makes the big play.
Let's take a look at this one once again as Al Bruno wonders what's happened to him this afternoon. Saskatchewan, they're swarming defense.
Well, I can tell you what happens. Dieter Brock's receiver falls down just as he wants to throw to him. He has to try and pull the ball in, and it squirts loose. Saskatchewan Roughriders, what a big break for them. They come up with that fumble recovery.
And as Jocko mentioned, Jerry Friesen came from his backside, popped him, the ball came out, and Saskatchewan now has possession at their own 48-yard line.
Football's a game of emotion, and they got it on the green and white side right now.
Watch out! Sam Biazzi comes from the backside and drops Joe Pow. This one heating up. This has turned into a heck of a football game.
Now, both defenses are certainly rising to the challenges being put in front of them as a blitz. And Greg Feger, there you see him. He's got to pick up Zambiazzi. He can't do it. And that's a tough sack when you get hit from the blind side.
The first sack of the afternoon by the Ticats.
And they have not come on with Zambiazzi very often. We talked about that before, how complete a linebacker is, how quick he is. He showed it there.
Second down, 16 yards to go.
Safety blitz.
And down he goes again. Good call. Howard Fields came flying through there. Pow didn't get a chance to set up. And on back-to-back plays, first Zambiazzi, then Howard Fields, and Saskatchewan will be punting.
Well, there you see it. Howard Fields coming in on that safety blitz, and the element of surprise works in the favor of the Ticats as Joe Pow just does not have a chance to set up and throw.
That kind of reminds me, looks like the BC Lion defense. Maybe they attack from the first down right to the last one, or they come after it.
Badawich's last punt was good for 35 yards. This one is an end-over-end one that bounces to Fields at his 35. Then he flips it to Rufus Crawford. Crawford can fly. A flag comes down as Crawford is dropped by Glenn Suter at the 48-yard line.
Taken by Fields, hands off to Rufus Crawford.
Now watch Ben Zambiazzi, number 31 at the top of your screen, and Crawford on the reverse. He's going to clip Greg Feger coming up on your screen. No doubt about it. Clipping, holding, you got about 4 you can call right there.
Could have called tackling.
You bring that play back. Gosh, you know, Jocko, every coach I ever had said, if you're going to clip them, pass them up.
That's right.
Hamilton 31. First down.
That just cost them about 30 yards right there. 15 on the return, 15 on the penalty. But it ceases to amaze me how guys cannot pass guys up when you know you're going to hit them in the back.
And real good football player like that guy.
We've had 25 penalties here this afternoon. It is first down, Hamilton. The ball at their 31. They trail by 6 points. Brock stands in there, and he goes deep looking for DiPietro, and not much more than a foot beyond his reach. There is good coverage, though, by Steve Johnson and by Glenn Suter, the safety and the inside halfback.
What they're doing a little bit, I think Saskatchewan linebackers, they made a good effort that time. They looked like they were going to come both on the blitz to hold those running backs in a little bit so they can't get out into the pattern. And he had to throw it downfield.
I'd just elaborate on that. When a linebacker does come in a blitzing situation, the running back has the responsibility of picking them up. If they bluff a blitz, as Jocko said, the running back has to stay in and protect and can't go out in his pattern.
So that brings up a 2nd and 10 for Hamilton as Eddie Lowe leaves the field of play. And you see Matthew Teague being attended to as well. Lowe is just over there talking to the Saskatchewan coaches. Teague is obviously leaving the ball game.
I'm really impressed with the way both secondaries have played today. They really have fought for that football, and Gerald Bess has had a good game. Steve Johnson's had a good game for the Roughriders, and I think they've just done an outstanding job defensively, both teams.
Here's the little girl. She's saying, can we come back? Can we come back? Ticats trail by 6 points. Rock over the middle, and the ball was stripped away from Rufus Crawford. Kenny McEachran was there just as the ball got there, and he stripped it right out of Crawford.
He made a really big play at a crucial time.
He sure did. He was involved on both last plays. We've seen a lot of that. The defensive backs fighting through and stripping that ball loose. It's just been a very well-played game.
I like the way they play McEachran on their defensive scheme of things over there. In other words, whether they call it a rover or a monster position, let him go to the strength of formation, field position, and then he knows down and distance, and let him utilize all the ability that guy has and the experiences that the guy has, because he'll make a lot of big plays for you. That was just one of them, but he's been doing it most of the day.
That's the key word, Jocko, experience. He certainly has it. He's the fellow that's hurt on this play. I think he's more winded than anything else because he really didn't go down hard.
Shaken up on the play.
Last year with the Toronto Argonauts as they won the Grey Cup. Then he wanted to stay home in Regina this year, and they were able to arrange a trade. Kenny stays home, and the Riders are the beneficiaries of that move. 8 minutes, 10 seconds left to play in the ball game. Saskatchewan 19, Hamilton 13. Good punt by Ruoff. Tim Kearse at his 28. And Kearse gets over the 45 to about the 47-yard line. So the Roughriders will have good field position when we come back. It is Saskatchewan 19, Hamilton 13. We'll be back in a moment. Well, fellas, 7 minutes, 54 seconds from now, we're going to have to decide on the offensive and defensive game stars. Jocko, give me some names. Who do you think has played well?
Ooh, from Saskatchewan, I know Craig Ellis has really played well. He's had a couple hundred yards, almost 175 yards of offense. Joe Powell has done a good job. I like the way Kenny McEachran is playing. Anybody along that front four bunch looks like from Saskatchewan. Ben Zambiazi on defense.
What do you think?
Well, I like Gerald Bess for the Hamilton Ticats. 2 interceptions. He's played a good game out in the corner. That's a lonely spot, and he's had a good afternoon.
Powell, 22 of 33 so far this afternoon. He fires it out there. Stu Fraser makes the catch. And the little fellow from the University of New Brunswick gets to the Hamilton 50, and that'll be a first down.
You know what I like? Football is a now business, Pat. In other words, especially when you're coaching. Sometimes managers say, well, we're building a good young team, blah, blah, blah. But in Saskatchewan, they're all on the same wavelength. Management and coaches like, we're going to win now. That's why they got those veteran players. They've had enough Rider, Pride, Saskatchewan Cup, win football games and play hard and look good. And that's what they're doing right now. I like that. I'm a Saskatchewan alumni.
It'll be jammed. It'll be jammed at Taylor Field next week when we're there because the Concord and Turner Gill will be in town. Boy, they'll put some points on the board. Powell's pass. What a grab by Tim Kearse. A sensational catch by Tim Kearse. Takes it to the 30-yard line. He batted it up in the air and then grabbed it in with one hand.
That's another one of those guys. He played with BC, and he came over from the Lions last year.
Let's have another look at this one. A ball that could have easily been intercepted by Felix Wright. Kearse hauls it back in after tipping it in the air. What a super play.
And then he runs it down to the 30-yard line. The big cheer was because of the Winnipeg-Toronto score, 20-10.
Final?
No. The give is to Greg Feger, and Feger fights his way inside the 25 to about the 24-yard line. They'll spot it at the 23, give him a pickup of 7 yards, 2nd and 3, and the Riders are 6 minutes away from their initial victory of 1984. They lead it 19-13 with a chance for more.
They got to get more. We talked about this before. They got a touchdown the last time in this situation. They got to come out of there and get points. Don't turn the ball over. Again, that's why you like that veteran quarterback. You know, he's playing pretty error-free football in the last bit here. Play action. Whoa.
Just overthrew the intended receiver, Ray Algar.
Goes incomplete.
Well, I like the call, but the execution just wasn't there. The pass pattern just never developed, but play action on 2nd and 3 is a nice call.
So now we'll see Dave Ridgway.
Three-pointer here is really big. Wow.
Ridgway's attempt will come from just inside the 30-yard line. And it is wide. What a break for the Ticats. Howard Fields runs it out of bounds. The Ticats escape with only 1 point against them, and now it's a 20-13 ball game.
Did you see how fast Howard Fields ran it out of the end zone that time?
Yeah. Well, Bob Poley gave him a little shot earlier in the ball game. Howard just scampered to the sideline that time.
Well, this is going to go, I think, it'll be just a great game to beat. Those last couple of minutes are just really exciting.
5 minutes, 10 seconds left to play in the game. Dieter Brock at the controls of the Hamilton Ticats, who trail by 7 points.
I love watching the line play at a point in a game like this.
The pass is complete to Dwayne Jett. Perry Irvin was on him immediately, but Dwayne Jett will have the first down at the 47-yard line. That's the rookie's first reception of the afternoon.
Perry Irvin making the stop.
That's a good pattern by Dwayne Jett. Work back to the football, and Dieter Brock knows it's now or there. We're a little over 4 minutes to go. He has to move this club.
Saskatchewan 20, Hamilton 13. First down, Hamilton at their 47. Brock fired it. It was knocked away. A good play by Billy Jackson.
Remember we talked about him earlier. Quick. He's quick to the football. He read that well and really came to the ball.
Al Bruno looks a lot more reserved than Jack Goda does right now. Al's under control. Jocko's getting wild now.
Jocko's, he's not a hyper, is he?
Oh, yeah. I love it. This is great. This is a great football game.
Second down, 10 to go. The pass is caught by Dwayne Jett for another Hamilton first down. Kenny McEachran was on him immediately, but the youngster from the University of Hawaii comes up with the catch.
What a big play it is. Dwayne Jett high in the air and squeezes that football. And you know what they've started at Iverwin Stadium? They've got their version of the wave coming through.
All right.
Here it comes.
The pass is complete to DiPietro. Fran McDermott was on him immediately, but he'll pick up about 5 yards.
Hey, this is great being here, man. I would rather be here than anywhere. This is great.
Now there's the wave. It seems to have taken... Well, they do it at the Blue Jay game. They do it at Tiger Stadium, BC Place. Why not at Iverwin?
Hey, all right.
I haven't seen this much enthusiasm at Iverwin in years. Second down, 5 yards to go, Ticats. The ball at the Saskatchewan 45-yard line. Brock's pass. Oh! Game over. He should go. Fran McDermott returns it all the way for the major score.
Wow. That is Rider pride. He's your defensive star of the game, Pat. I don't care what anybody says.
From St. Mary's University in California, the 3-year starter for the Roughriders. Watch this.
Well, they'd seen this pattern about 4 times on second and short. He just anticipated, read it perfectly, and gonzo.
to see it and do something about it are two different things. That's where his good athletic ability. He's been returning punts. You talked about that, Pat. He's had a good day. Woo, 68 yards on that one. He's sizzled.
The Riders are out in front, 26-13 with 2:42 left to play in the ball game.
It took care of the wave.
Yeah.
They won't wave here again, will they? I don't know.
Ridgway's point after is good. 2 minutes, 42 seconds left to play. There's Leaf's friend. It is 27-13 Saskatchewan. We'll be back in a moment. You folks in Saskatchewan, you have yourselves a football team. I'll guarantee you that. The Riders lead at 27-13. They have completely shut down the Hamilton Ticats in the second half. Hamilton has not scored a point. The Riders have played well all over the field.
We talked about their defense, the way they've worked, and that's what it's all about. They're just hard work. That front four, they've been trying to, a couple little stunts and everything in there, but they've worked hard. They try to get to Brock. We talked about that before the game. They're the kind of a defense that looks good against Brock, because Brock is not a rollout guy, and they're big, and they got size, and they get their hands up.
Jack, I remember talking to Ruben Berry last year, and he said, all I want is a group of guys that'll go out and really work hard for me and give 110 all the time, and he's put together a team that does that.
From the 5-yard line, this is Rufus Crawford. You know what? Robert Reed did a good job, although Crawford doesn't go down until he gets to the 23. He held his contain and then slashed in there to knock him off balance.
Then he got up and he was ready to be in pursuit.
2 minutes and 36 seconds left to play.
Further score from Winnipeg, the Bombers out in front of the Toronto Argonauts, 27-18 in the fourth quarter.
That's not much of a conference in the West. They've only got 5 teams tied for first now, right?
That's the way it'll be. Whoever wins up at Edmonton on Friday night will be sitting in first place, at least for a couple days.
Well, 3 teams will be tied in the East for first if this game holds the way it is right now.
Mark Bragnola had the ball go right through his hands. Then Kenny McEachran gave him a little shot just after that.
Just to say, hi, how are you? Remember me?
I thought you create some more yards.
I have really enjoyed this Saskatchewan performance this afternoon. Saskatchewan has had 5 quarterback sacks, 4 team sacks, for a total of 9.
Pat, I've enjoyed our newest member of the CTV broadcast crew, Jack. It's good to have you with us, and we'll look forward to hearing you out in Edmonton next week with Frank and Al and Dale Isaac.
Just love being at all these games. I love it.
Rufus Crawford makes the catch, and then McDermott finally rides him out of bounds. They'll have the first down up to the 40-yard line. I want to say something nice about Rufus Crawford, because this is the second time we've seen him running out of that slot back position. He has done a heck of a job for Hamilton.
Sure has, and Al Bruno knows the value of having him. Basically, a running back has been put in that slot back role that he really doesn't like, but he's such a good guy, he accepts it, and he plays his heart out.
Brock's pass intended for Dwayne Jett was beyond his reach.
Pass goes incomplete.
Well, Dieter needs some big plays, and he needs them in a hurry, because we've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left to play in the ball game, and Saskatchewan leads it by 14 points. He has been well defensed this afternoon. Pass is complete to Dwayne Jett. Terry Irvin wrapped him up immediately, but it should be another first down, Hamilton.
That's a hard play to defend right there. The receiver coming right back to the football made a good move, Dwayne Jett did.
It's unbelievable. You know that in all the years we've seen Dieter Brock, you've never seen him throw more passes than this afternoon. He has thrown 44 times today already. And this one is complete to Rufus Crawford. Fran McDermott grabs him at the 45, and it's another Hamilton first down.
Hold on to your hat. Over 2 minutes to go. I know we seem to say this every week. It's not over till it's over, because in the Canadian Football League, a lot of points can be scored in a hurry.
Brock's pass knocked away. Kenny Hinton was the defender on Ron Johnson. You got to know that Joe Galat and his coaching staff and all those Montreal Concords are watching this game saying, hey, these Riders are going to be tough next week. And we're going to be in Taylor Field to bring you that one next Sunday. And I would think if the wave was loud here, it'll be, they won't have the wave probably at Taylor Field, but there'll be a lot of noise. Right through the hands of Mark Wagner. Mark, take the gloves off. Roughing the quarterback. Wow. Rick Moore isn't too happy about it.
Let me tell you, Pat, I told you earlier in the game about that sun. In all fairness to Mark Graganola, the sun is coming right out of that corner of the stadium there, and it could have affected him just a little bit. There you see which way the shadows are going there. The sun's coming right back in his eyes.
They've got about 45 yards in about 21 seconds. You know?
Rick Moore was called for roughing quarterback Peter Brock. The penalty has moved the ball to the Saskatchewan 30-yard line. Peter's got to put it into the end zone right about now. Fires it out there to Calvin Lindsay. And a flag comes down. We may have a face masking penalty in addition to the first down yardage that Lindsay had picked up. And the Ticats will be banging on the door. It is face masking against Saskatchewan. Tell you who's still wildly upset out there, Rick Moore.
Well, that's a big penalty. Would have put him in a third down situation, gave them a new life. And with that catch by Lindsay and the face masking penalty, Ticats are inside the 10-yard line.
A minute 52 left to play in the ball game. Saskatchewan 27, Hamilton 13. Ticats with first and goal to go. Over the head of the intended receiver, Ron Johnson. Kenny Hinton was providing the defensive coverage.
I like the way Kenny Hinton played that. Did a good job.
It's a tough play to cover, too. It's a throwback, and he runs an out pattern, and Ken Hinton was right there to make the play.
So with the incompletion, as you take a look at Ben Zambiazzi and David Sauve in front of him, it stops the clock at 1:46 left to play. They swing it out to Calvin Lindsay. Touchdown, Hamilton.
Wow, great play by the back.
I'm going to tell you about Calvin Lindsay. He's the kind of a guy that Barrett Bryant used to say, if he smells the goal line, he's in the end zone. Boris Kidd has shown that in 2 successive games. He's not going to be denied.
.140 on the clock.
Well, there it is, and he just high steps it into the end zone. The Ticats are right back in it. Jack, you said it, 1:40 on the clock. Watch this move here to get away from Matthew Teague, number 78, and then just sheer determination into the end zone. That's his second touchdown of the ball game.
Well, Leaf said it last week. If I was Johnny Shepard, I'd be a little concerned. But
He'll be back next week working hard in practice starting tomorrow.
But you know, in all fairness to Johnny Shepard, he's a great running back. And let me tell you, if he's hurt, he is hurt. Because he wants to play week in and week out.
That's right. Get all the good players on the field, and that's the coach's job. Get them all out there.
That's right.
You don't bench one. Get them out there. He'll be out there.
looks like they're going to go for the 2 here.
Ken Hinton is our player.
Now Peter Brock is going over to have a chat with Al Bruno as Kenny Hinton is assisted off the field.
Well, Al Bruno's a real gambler in this situation.
If you can go for the 2 again the next time, go for the tie the next time. Yeah. Go for the win on the first deuce, and then you go for the tie on the second deuce. You got to score another touchdown.
Right.
That's the key. We're a little presumptuous there. They've got one, they got to get another.
There's the wave. We thought we might not see it again. It's amazing what a touchdown it is. Right. the way, there is the flag down on the field. Boy, we had some pretty good contact there as Ron Johnson and Dave Singh were going at it pretty good.
They get another shot at it here. Saskatchewan will be called for defensive holding. But you have to wonder if that thumb's not bothering Ron Johnson, because that was a catchable ball.
I know what my call is here. I give it to Lindsay. This guy, I mean, he's going to run it over from anywhere inside the 10. They've spotted the ball at the 2.5-yard line. Reuben Berry is saying, why did I get back into this business? There he was, comfortable in the oil fields.
You want to live on the edge of the razor blade.
All right, there's Lindsay. Oh, whoa, checked by the Saskatchewan swarming.
Now, what were you telling me about this guy?
I'll tell you, though, they did a heck of a job.
I'm telling you about the Saskatchewan tough defense. All day long.
Watch this. What a great surge they make. Number 78, Matthew Teague, along with Rick Goltz, just denied Kelvin Lindsay from getting in for that two-point convert. And this changes the complexion of the game. If the Ticats are able to come up with another touchdown, they'll need the 2 points to just tie the ball game.
That's it.
Well, when you see Rocky DiPietro coming out in the field as he is now for this kickoff, you know one thing. It's going to be an onside kick with 1:41 remaining.
This is a good game. This is fun.
Woo. I really went out on a limb there, didn't I, saying it could be an onside.
I just want to ask the truck, did you say 28-26 Winnipeg? 28-26 final score, Winnipeg. So the Argos obviously came back.
Wow.
But not enough.
That was a good football game, I'll bet.
Well, we've got a dandy right now with 1:41 left to play. Saskatchewan leads it by 8, 27-19.
Well, they've got Mark Streeter and Rocky DiPietro far over on the left side, and they're going to just try and deflect the ball out of bounds. It's a good kick.
Saskatchewan ball. They were the last to touch it as he went out of bounds.
I think Kenny McEachern, number 30, made the great play there because Rocky DiPietro had it in his hands, and Kenny McEachern was the last person to knock it out of it.
You know, there's a lot of time left. There's 1:40 left. This ball game isn't over.
And that's when you want those good Canadian football players on the field, situation like that. A lot of the new import guys don't even know what it's all about.
What's going on?
Who's got to have possession of it? Who's got to touch it last? Who, what? But like you said, McEachern is over and made a big play.
All right, first down, Saskatchewan at their 48-yard line. The clock will start on the snap of the ball.
Gonna run the fullback. Nope.
Craig Ellis.
Staying down.
And Ellis gets very close to the 54-yard line. He'll have a pickup of about 7.
Mark Streeter made the stop.
And the moment that referee Lauren Woods whistles time in, it is now. The clock starts rolling. We're down to 1:30 left in the game. Second down and about 4 yards to go. Let's make it 2nd and 4, Saskatchewan. Craig Ellis again. He's been the workhorse. He ran right by John Priestner and picks up the first down, but there is a flag on the field.
You know what, Pat? I think number 65, Neil Quilter, jumped.
Well, the penalty is against Saskatchewan. That's why we call Leaf the spy. He detected it.
Procedure. Saskatchewan 65. Second down repeated.
Leaf hit it right on the nose. Number 65, Neil Quilter, pulled out of his stance. And so now it's second down and about 9 yards to go. The clock is stopped and 1:13 left to play. Saskatchewan leads by 8.
Safety blitz.
They swing it out to Craig Ellis. And Ben Zambiazzi will not let him get to the outside. And so Saskatchewan will be punting with a 1:06 left to play in the game.
Zambiazzi making the tackle on Ellis.
I know that a lot of those folks who were watching that Winnipeg-Toronto game have probably switched to us. Hey, Jocko, we've had a terrific football game.
This has been just a great game. Saskatchewan has really come back in the second quarter for about 200 yards of offense and some points, and then been dominating in the fourth quarter.
Here's Ben Zambiazzi, number 31 from the University of Georgia, perennial all-star in the Canadian Football League, and just puts the wraps on Craig Ellis. He goes no further.
And Saskatchewan calls the timeout. It stops the clock, or excuse me, Hamilton calls the timeout, stops the clock with 1:06 left. Saskatchewan will be punting. Dieter Brock will have about a minute left to see if he can stick it in the end zone.
To echo your statement just a minute or two ago, this is the quarterback that you like to see in there operating for it. Dieter Brock will do a good job. It's going to be an exciting minute of football.
Well, let's go back and have a look at that onside kick attempt that we had from Bernie Ruoff. We didn't get a chance to show it to you earlier, but watch Rocky DiPietro has it in his hands. Then Ken McEachran alert comes over and knocks the ball out of bounds. That's just a great play. And Jocko, you mentioned it. Have your Canadian guys out there. They know this situation. They know what to do. Canadian guy McEachran knocked it out.
Dave Badowitz punting on 3rd down. Not too deep. This is Rufus Crawford at his 35-yard line. A flag comes down. No yards will be the penalty. Bob Foley was there to make the tackle. But the Ticats are going to have the ball up around their 45-yard line.
Wow.
Bob Foley made the tackle. A penalty marker on the play.
There's Al Bruno.
He's cool.
He is.
Well, that gives them an extra 15 yards with that no yards penalty.
And here's the important statistic. 55 seconds left to play in the game. Saskatchewan 27, Hamilton 19. They need the touchdown and the 2-point conversion to tie. They just dump it to Calvin Lindsay, and he could not get to midfield. He was stopped there by Eddie Lowe, the middle linebacker.
Eddie Lowe is really quick, too. He's quick to that football. Ooh.
Ticats don't huddle. It's 2nd down and about 6 yards to go for the 1st down. Pass is complete to DiPietro, and Rocky has the 1st down as he stretches inside the 45-yard line. Ken McEachran made the stop with 46 seconds on the clock.
The other thing is this, there'll be no more punting or kicking situations in this game from the offensive standpoint of Hamilton anyway. So you give Brock 3 shots to make 10. Boy, he's tough.
Into the middle to Calvin Lindsay. He spins his way inside the 40 to about the 39-yard line. Jerry Friesen had them all wrapped up.
Plus 4 and plus 5 is big now on 1st down in at least. You know,
well, sure it is.
Come back and pick up 4 or 5, and then you can go again on the 3rd down. You're going with it.
You got 38 seconds. When you're in the hurry up, it only takes about a second or two to snap the ball.
It's 2nd and 5 for the 1st down. They swing it out here to Mark Bragnola now. The 1st down, yes, at the 34-yard line. And he stepped out of bounds, which was key because he kills the clock.
Get those receivers to curl in, and the backs check flat. Backs catch the ball, get out of bounds with it. And that's exactly, he's only done that for a decade up here.
You know, it just shows the experience of a veteran quarterback, though. He doesn't try and get it too quickly. Use those backs. You still got 30 seconds, and in this league, that's a long time.
1st down, Hamilton at the Saskatchewan 34-yard line. Now he's going to the end zone, looking for Dwayne Jett, and it is knocked away. What a play by Terry Urban.
T.I. had to grab that ball. If he had a chance, he made a great play anyway, but otherwise it's all over.
You know what I kind of thought? I thought Dwayne Jett pushed off him a little bit.
He might have given him a little shove, and there's a good camera shot of it. Nice, guys. Nice going, guys. That's a great shot there, but Terry Urban really kept himself in there and would not allow Jett to get near the football.
All right, 23 seconds left to play. 2nd and 10, Hamilton. They've got to worry about getting that 1st down, too. They've got all kinds of time. Rocky DiPietro is the injured Hamilton Ticat player.
Good. They're going to stop the clock. They got to stop that clock anyway and get themselves organized here.
Dieter Brock has been good on 33 of 56 pass attempts for 405 yards.
His arm's not even tired yet. I know that. That guy's got that kind of a gun.
Oh, he's stronger than some of the linemen.
And Bob Layden is at the all-time CFL record. He's still 6 passes away. 9-count violation.
Oh, that's inexcusable.
way you look at it, that time is your ally or your adversary here. What happened there?
There's a time count violation. They leave the ball at the 1. It is second down. And now referee Lauren Woods calls a timeout here. Let's see, it was Saskatchewan.
I think Ken McKickard called a timeout.
Saskatchewan.
Exactly.
This has been a dandy, hasn't it?
This has been a great game. Evidently, there's been a couple great games for all the viewers today. In other words, that Winnipeg-Toronto game had to be an outstanding football.
Well, that's what we're talking about, 1984. I mean, any club can beat any club in the CFL now. That's what's great about it.
It's just going to be a dynamite season, and we're all having a good time showing these games to you.
But let me tell you, he's got to get the touchdown, but then he's got to get the 2-point conversion. Then.
Oh, he's got his work cut out for him. This isn't going to be easy. Well, I agree with Jocko. If I was Al Bruno, I'd just say, Dieter, take it yourself.
Yeah, you don't have any mishandling of the football. I've only seen him make 3rd and 2nd and 1s like I don't know how many times because the guy is so strong, you know.
Yeah.
He and Warren Moon over the years, every time it was a situation like that, it was just dynamite. It just...
Here it is. Second down, goal to go. And they give it to Kelvin Lindsay, and what a big play by Eddie Lowe, the middle linebacker.
You hand the ball back into the backfield like that, you're giving that defense an opportunity to do that.
I totally disagree, but gentlemen, they still have another play, so they may be able to redeem themselves. But I totally agree, that's a bad call. You got to go north-south in those things, straight ahead.
Now the ball is back to the 3.5-yard line. This will do it. The final play of the ball game, barring the penalty. Whew.
He's going to run it himself.
Touchdown, Peter Brock.
Look at the time on the clock.
Everybody was covered. There was nobody open, and Brock just dove into the end zone. But it's not over. It's Saskatchewan 27, Hamilton 25. The 2-point conversion to come.
Well, everybody covered downfield, and it just opened up, and Dieter Brock, although it isn't that fast, he got it in.
Here's your ball game right now.
You get 2 great opportunities for the price. There it is.
DiPietro gets the 2 points.
He called it good.
Wow, what an ending. It's a tie ball game. Watch as Rocky DiPietro lunges into the end zone.
All that has to cross that goal line is the football. He gets it out in front. It touches the ground. 2 points.
The ball came out as he hit the ground, but as Leaf said, the ground cannot make you fumble. What a football game. Hamilton 27, Saskatchewan 27. And the Ticats scored 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes.
You kept setting that up there. Said, what quarterback would you like to have being the guy at the control? We both agreed on that. All 3 of us certainly in Dieter Brock, and he did it. He's the star of this thing.
All right, Saskatchewan 27, Hamilton 27. The CFL on CTV will continue in a moment.